2/11, 462 log entries were overwritten by this script. On the 3rd of March, 37,686 log entries were overwritten by this same script. On the 12th, which is the day before we received the system, there were 330 log entries overwritten by that script. Now the challenge here is that I know that this occurred. I know which account did it. It was the EMS admin account. If you reflect back to what I just said about the lack of accountability of assigning that username to an individual, it now becomes extremely difficult to prove who did it, okay? Now, luckily, we happen to have some historical data from the MTech video feeds. And so we leverage that data to backtrack and align these times, and we have captured screenshots of Maricopa County people at the keyboards during those time periods, okay? Now, we've identified those individuals, but we will not release their names because we understand what the scrutiny is and what the impacts would be to those individuals. But I just want to tell you that the very point that they did not have EMS. Okay. Now, remember the lack of log retention at this point. We could not find any logged entry that corresponded to this activity, okay, from the security logs. Those Windows security logs only went back to the 5th, but everything was purged on the right? Why did they do it? You would think that if you were doing an audit the next day, that you would want to have the full context of the election to be audited. But that clearly was not the case in this instance.
So just to clarify, so this is a log file specifically from results tallying and reporting, which is the Dominion software. That entry says that someone went into the program and clicked on something that said, I want to purge all the results for this election. That goes through and that deletes all of the records within it, and if you actually take a look, you can see the success. It's like the second line up, that it completed successfully, and it literally deletes all of the files on the NAS directory as well, which is where all the results from the election are contained, where all the images from the election are contained, and all those other details. So some individual went into an application and they chose specifically to run something that would clear all records in the system that was used to generate the official results the day before an audit started.
Next slide, please. Okay. I'd like to talk a little bit about anonymous logins. Now, anonymous login entries are common in the Windows operating system. And they're most common when used in conjunction with accessing Windows shares, SMB shares, file shares, etc. But there's a pattern to that functionality inside of the log files. And you'll see on the left there that that is a normal anonymous login activity accessing an SMB share. You'll also notice that for the purposes of security, we have redacted specific elements to include the host name and the IP address and some of those types of things. But the fact of the matter is that those items are recorded as part of that normal anonymous log activity. You will have the host name that logged into it. You will have the IP address that originated the request. In most cases, you'll have the username as anonymous, but that username is then validated against the access control lists and the user authentication mechanisms and validated. So the very next log entry in a normal anonymous activity is a validation of that user's credentials to access that particular device or process or whatever they were accessing. What you see on the left is something that we discovered in the logs, which is what I call atypical anonymous login. Okay? You will notice that none of those items that are captured by normal activity are present in this log. You don't have an IP address of the originating device. You don't have a host name of the originating device. And furthermore, when I look at these in context of the actual security log itself, there is no validation of a user's credentials immediately following this. There are hundreds of these types of anonymous logins in the security logs that we do have. I cannot tell you at this point if this same type or pattern of activity occurred during the election cycle because these logs don't exist that cover the election, okay? But I can tell you that without access to that router data and the network data, I cannot validate whether or not these were legitimate accesses. You'll notice that it is a login type 3, so it was a remote access. I cannot tell if this is a legitimate access or an unauthorized access at this time. Next slide, please.
Hello, everyone.
So we also took a look at what...
Welcome. I hope you're all doing well on this Friday evening. What you're listening to right now is the presentation for the Arizona audit that's going on. I was listening to it, so I didn't want to stop it for the intro. Peter's not doing great. I emailed him earlier. He emailed me back. It's not doing great. Colston says, another Elon breakdown imminent after the Grimes breakup. I hope so. MMO Addicted says, so Hannah, have you read the letter Chris Chan sent out of prison? No, I have not. Chrysia says, so Peter's having a normal one. Yeah, I'll show you in a little bit.
Changing anything on the original device.
Does someone... There we go, okay.
Virtual machine. I created a...
We'll talk about the audit in a little bit, by the way, and from what I've heard so far. DM Trey, thanks for 17 months, says, our second child will be here soon. Slaughterama says, I want to issue a retraction. I was mistaken about the guy from Chudwatch on Thursday, different douchebag, but with the same general features. My mistake. If I'm going to call someone out on Chudwatch, might as well do my due diligence and make sure it's the right guy. Sorry, all. Well, thank you for retracting that and letting us know. The guy that was trying to leave California. That dude. Andrew Patella says, I don't want to know why the election machines are using SMB or hell, Windows. Alright. So, audit stuff. The audit presentation's been going on since around 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if anyone... Is anyone here not familiar with the results? I'm just curious, because I tweeted about it, but not everyone has a Twitter, and not everyone's going to see my tweet. So I'm just curious, by a show of hands, who here has no idea what the audit found? I'm just curious. You don't actually have to use the hand emoji. You can just say, you know, yeah, that's fine.
All of those
Jude McLeod, thanks for subscribing for 3 months. Says happy to be around for this long and looking forward to more.
For example, DNS, the default port on that.
So, the Arizona audit conducted by Cyber Ninjas found irregularities, and there was a difference in votes. By their count, Donald Trump got 300-something fewer votes, and Joe Biden got 99 more. All this shit with the QAnon people being like, oh my god, the Arizona audit's gonna conclude that there was fraud, and then they're gonna undo the election. And the audit found more votes for Joe Biden and fewer for Donald Trump. This is Peter's Christmas. Now, here's the thing that's more important, though. As funny as that is, and that should be the headline, because that's the important part, Biden is still the winner. Surprise. MMO Addicted says it's wild, and you want to look at the photos, not the Kiwi Farms bullshit. She thinks she's the second coming of Christ. By the way, I nearly died today, passed out due to heart issues. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I hope you're doing better now. Mr. Maximum Austin says, hype train to fame, baby. Hype train kicks off. Anyway, so now what's going on is the Cyber Ninjas people are doing a presentation to the Arizona Senate, the Arizona Board of Electors. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, they're basically going through and just trying to be like, well, here's things that we don't understand, so maybe that could be a fraud thing? We don't know. And they're talking about discrepancies and not at all mentioning that the discrepancies gave Trump more votes than he actually got by their own count. It's incredibly dishonest. They're trying to sow distrust in the election process in a way that the right-wing QAnon-type people will still be on the hook, basically. Even though their findings are that Biden won the election even more than the original count, they're still trying to act as though they found the opposite of that. It's wild. So, sorry everyone, Peter's not going to switch around. He's going to buy this hook, line, and sinker, even though the numbers specifically show Biden still won by even more, because they're like, well, we don't know. We don't know what this login means. They're going to be like, aha, irregularities. Irregularities, I think, is going to be a big new talking point for them, because it keeps getting brought up a lot during this, and they just copy what they hear people say. So I have a feeling that we're going to be hearing a lot about voting irregularities over the next month or so. Ice Queen says, ND birthday and anniversary and 4th of July and who knows what else. H. Baird says, we should keep these audits up. Maybe it'll turn out that Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell actually lost. MMO Addicted says, the attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed, but my resolve to drown you in bits has never been stronger. Excellent. Remember, it is still September, so any subs that are gifted are 20% off or bought for yourself. 88% to level 1 of the hype train. Bumble Homestead, thanks for gifting a sub.
For internet artifacts. Okay. And when I did that, the history was significantly different.
Bitter Grin says, with machine logins don't matter. We use paper ballots here. The machines are just glorified Scantrons. We have physical ballots. Yeah. They recounted all the physical ballots, which is how they found that Biden got more votes. Because the Scantron part undercounted the number of votes he got and overcounted Trump's. That's where their results are coming from. And now they're desperately trying to make it look like, I don't know, something could have maybe, I don't know, happened. It's pathetic. Speedy Yoshi says, I hate Russian government and shit because obviously, but this is hilarious. Even the Russia's state TV is making fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene, describing her antics as evidence of mental debilitation of Western politicians. Yeah? They're not wrong. Xenon Exemer, thanks for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to the community. Vast Lunacy says Cyber Ninja's down bad right now. Rover Bear, thanks for 5 months. BD Kappa, thanks for 17 months. Daddy Sume with a link. Sume on this tweet says, "Oh my effing god, I'm ready to murder someone. My mother effing manager and the assistant manager have both effing COVID, and the manager decided not to tell us. I am infuriated right now. Oh yikes. That's bullshit. I'm really sorry. That's fucked up." Why is this not going? Oh.
The internet. Okay. So from the
Oh, also the cyber ninjas don't know how to run a PowerPoint.
there's
It's very
actually
weird.
3 visits to the same site on the same day. Okay. That clearly is not a private URL or a private.
Andrew Batella says, "So catching Pokemon for Christ? I thought Pokemon were demonic entities that give epilepsy to children."
That date was connected to the internet. Okay. Now, I'd also like to point out that relying on the unallocated space for these artifacts, I don't have a complete history of all the internet connections, because things get overwritten, things get changed, things of that nature. But the importance of this is that at some point in time, specifically those last visited dates, this device was connected to the internet. Now, if you look at that date...
All right, I'm done listening to the boring thing. Basically, you get it. The numbers, I tweeted about them, but the numbers, again, that got released in the published report show that Biden won. Surprise. Peter's not taking this well, because that got reported on. So Peter tweeted this. Peter tweeted in all caps, "Fake news media is pretending the audit proves Biden won. Nice try, Satanists. Get ready for your executions." Hey, remember that time that Peter said he was going to sue me for claiming that he wants all his political enemies executed? And he's like, "That's slander." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And he's like, "Yes, it is. I'd never said that." Slaughterama says, "Christ, when you give the former KGB a good laugh, then you know we've hit peak levels of pants-on-head dumb fuckery." No kidding. 90% to level 3 of the hype train. Daddy Sume says, "Gonna get a test as soon as I can, but I need to arrange transportation." You're vaccinated, right? I just want to be clear. I assumed you were, but... Bittergrin says, "Pokemon are demonic entities. You catch them for Christ to help him keep them away from children." Ice Queen says, "And there it is. Figured he'd say something like that." Vast Lunacy says, "As we know, all caps is the language of stability." True. You are vaccinated. Good. Hopefully, if you got it, you're covered. If you do get a breakthrough case, hopefully mild. Seriously. I dunk on you. I do. Sometimes justifiably so even. But I hope you know that I hope you're okay. I would never wish ill on you. I hope you're not infected, and if you are, I hope you have a speedy and easy recovery. Looking for the screenshot. Did I not tweet about the screenshot? Did they have it? No, I did tweet it. I think I responded to Altered Rin's tweet with screenshot. As we all know, all caps is the language of stability. True. Where is it? It's around here. There it is. Oh, I responded to Bryson with it. Maybe I also did to Altered Rin. I don't remember. Anyway, so this is the part of the report where they actually show their count numbers. Oh, did we not do the hype train? That's a shame. Daddy Sume says, "I'm terrified for the person I'm living with. She refused to get vaccinated because reasons, and if she gets it, it's going to be bad. And if that happens, I'm out of a place to live." Oof. That sucks. I'm sorry. Why didn't they get vaccinated? Well, okay, whatever. It's someone you know. I'm not going to ask. I hope it wasn't for dumb reasons, but I kind of feel like based on the way you said that, it's maybe for dumb reasons. Anyway, so here's the part of the report that it really boils down to, and that's the presidential race. The chart below, I know this is cropped a little from what you guys are seeing, but I can see the whole thing, so I'll just read it. The chart below summarizes the results of the hand recount of the presidential race of Maricopa County forensic audit. The tallies are based on the tallies from all original ballots and does not include the ballots duplicated from the originals. So, Comes down to the original Maricopa County canvass found that Trump got 995,665 votes. Maricopa County audit found 995,404. So that's 261 fewer votes. The original count of Biden's was 1,040,774. The new count is 1,040,873. That is a difference of 99 votes. So, Biden won. Even more so than was originally thought. Slaughterama says, okay, I know you don't like anime and manga, but I have to recommend Shuzo. Blah, 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 blah. That's what happens to my brain when someone talks to me about anime or manga. I'll read it for real, because you did give me bits. I'd recommend Shuzo Oshimi's Blood on the Tracks. It's genuinely one of the best paced, well-written horror comics I've ever read. I promise it's worth your time. It might be. I promise I will probably never, ever, ever read it. Sorry, I just don't like it. I'm a dick.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, well. I finally updated my movie collection, guys. Look at how many movies I own. It's so many movies! Alright, let's see how Peter is dealing with this. This is before the results actually came out. Well, that's technically untrue. The results leaked last night.
They weren't the real results, though, Hannah.
It turns out they are. They are the real results. So I emailed Peter about this last night. He got back to me this morning. I was like, Peter, the results... And I was nice about this because I'm not trying to push Peter away from, reasonable discourse. So I was like, hey, Peter, I hope you're doing well. The results of the Arizona audit came out. Biden got even more votes. He, of course, denied this and was like, no, that's fake news. They're lying. Those are fake results they're putting out to trick the deep state.
Oh, God.
And I responded, Peter, no, they're not. I know you don't like me because I tell you things you don't want to hear, and people like Ron Watkins tell you what you want to hear, but I am the one who's telling you the truth. Just because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean I'm not right. I really think you're doing a bad thing, and you're hurting your family because you're wrapped up in all this and the anti-vax conspiracies, and you really should stop. And he just said, like, you're so cocky. And it was like, all right, whatever. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I genuinely want to help Peter, but what am I going to do?
Can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped.
I guess. Speedy Yoshi says, I saw you had Thor the Dark World in your movie collection. I pity you. Hey, if I'm going to own all the Marvel movies, I'm going to own all the Marvel movies, goddammit. Yo&80 says, wait for some right winger to say the refugees in Texas are being counted in Arizona. Oh my god. Vorkvoid says, my dad's doctor literally told him not to get the vax because it's new. She was fired for that, and he thinks that's shenanigans confirmed and admitted I will never change his mind. Ugh. Dirt Jur says, curse you, Hannah, and your vehement disdain for anime. It is what it is. Someone asked how I feel about Russell T. Davies. Okay, for those who don't know,
So excited!
Chris Chibnall is leaving Doctor Who, which is good because he's the worst showrunner the show has had in the new Who era. And his replacement is going to be Russell T. Davies, the guy who brought the show back in 2005.
The best showrunner.
I would say he's the best showrunner. I like Stephen Moffat still, even though, like, I meme on Stephen Moffat's bad writing, because when it's bad, it is dog shit. But when it's good, it's really good. But Russell T. Davies is the most consistent and well-rounded of the showrunners and writers for Doctor Who. So I'm very excited for him to come back and hopefully stabilize the show a bit. Because, like, I got nothing against Jodie. I got nothing against any of the actors or actresses who have worked on the show since Chibnall came on. They're doing their best. The scripts are bad. The overarching stories are bad. The production design's pretty good. Whoever the director of photography is for these are doing pretty good, but the story is not there. It just isn't. So Russell T Davies with the newer BBC crews that can do this sort of really in-depth, great cinematic photography and production design. I'm really excited to see what he can do. So, what do I think about the terrible Mario movie casting? Oh, I went over that in the last stream. It looks terrible. But it's a kid's movie. And I'm almost 30. So... Dirt Juror says that was meant cheekily. You dumb bess. Or you da bess. Great. Chica Difficil says, yeah, Moffat had some great episodes, but he's inconsistent and bad with bigger plot lines. Yeah. Moffat needs an editor. Like, if they brought Moffat back to do an episode or two in the new season, and Russell T Davies, you know, is the showrunner and gets to edit him, perfect. That's perfect. Moffat did some of his best work under Davies. Colson says The Timeless Child Part 2. Ugh. Let's not talk about The Timeless Child. Raven says, have you watched the new Star Wars Visions anime? No, I've not. Ice Queen says, Stephen Moffat has the best writing for Davies' case in Point Blink, The Girl in the Fireplace, and The Empty Child. I was literally watching The Girl in the Fireplace earlier today. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the Mario movies, I need to make a correction. I said DreamWorks is making the Mario movie. Incorrect. I'm sorry. I was brain fart. Illumination is making it. Illumination, who did the Minions movies and Despicable Me. Yep. Like, Pixar's A tier. DreamWorks is like B tier. Sony Animation, with what they've come out with, like Spider-Man recently, C tier. Illumination is down fucking here. They're so bad. I hate Illumination. Anyway. So, Peter made this video earlier today before the Arizona audit results were released. The results which showed, once again, that Joe Biden got even more votes than were originally counted, and Trump got fewer. They also found duplicate votes, but guess who got more duplicate votes? Trump, which is why he ended up losing votes, and Biden gained. So, this was Peter's excited message this morning before those results came out.
It's a beautiful morning. Welcome back, Patriots. It's Peter Hanna here, and it's Christmas. Ah,
Merry Christmas, Peter!
so wonderful. Now, I have seen some people have been sending me articles saying, like,
That was me.
it's actually Christmas for the Democrats. Republicans are going to be so disappointed today.
Oh, Baja also tweeted at him, but I emailed him too. Multiple people did.
No. It's called fake news articles. That Christmas today is for Republicans exclusively. Sorry, Democrats. No matter what article you're reading, it's just not true. I mean, the mainstream media and the deep state, they tried to do a false flag 6 days ago. It failed miserably.
Peter, that was not a false... Nothing even happened. It was just a shitty rally that failed that Trump supporters tried to put together in the Capitol to protest the, quote, bad treatment of the January 6th insurrectionist pieces of shit. And almost no one showed up. And that's a false flag. I don't even think Peter knows what that word means.
There was a false flag yesterday. Not big enough to distract it. I think the only
I don't even know what he's trying to refer to there.
card they have to distract from the big Christmas event for Republicans today is, like, aliens are invading, but so I just don't see how they would use their big gun already. It's like a little too soon. So I'm very excited. We have a wonderful day ahead of us. I'm going to do a great live stream tonight, a celebratory live stream. I might even eat some cookies Then maybe I should stop, because yesterday I ate cookies and I got a pimple. Oh, man. It's on camera now. Everyone knows that I food sin. I just feel...
You food sin? What? Oh, God, Peter, what? Peter, you're in good shape. Eat a cookie every once in a while. You're fine.
Seriously.
Such a great mood, guys.
If anything, Peter's lost a bunch of weight recently. Like, he's fine. What the fuck? Who calls it a food sin? I wonder if that's a weird thing from the cult he's a part of.
I hope not.
Hydrate. Rageology says, presented work. My apologies. No! It's anime Doctor Who. If Doctor Who were an anime, I would watch anime. Did I watch the Party Thor episode of What If? Would I'd love to hear your thoughts if you did. It was fine, I guess. What If so far has been my least favorite Marvel show so far. That's not to say I hate the show or anything, but it has the weakest scripts. But that's kind of similar to the What If comics, you know? They're not usually great. One of my favorite Captain America stories happens to be a What If comic. But, like, you know, whatever. In terms of, like, a light, like, oh, what if Thor was just a bigger dick? And the Captain Marvel Thor fight was cool. It was fine. It's pretty much how I felt about most of the What If episodes. The best ones have got to be the Doctor Strange episode with Christine, or... oh boy. What's your favorite episode of What If?
What was the one before the zombie one? Was that the Doctor Strange one?
I'm looking. We'll get back onto the Peter thing in a sec. I'm just trying to look, guys. Sorry. The episodes are... what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger? What if T'Challa became Star-Lord? What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands, which was my pick? What if zombies? What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? And what if Thor were an only child so far?
Oh, what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark?
The Killmonger one was pretty good. I also liked the T'Challa Star-Lord one.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the zombies episode. That was boring.
I didn't focus on it at all.
The what if the world lost its mightiest heroes? Good premise, but I didn't think the follow-through was that great. I liked Captain Carter and Steve in the first episode, but it just felt like a rehash of the Captain America movie. But I hope we see her later. I like the character. Anyway, back to bits messages, and then we'll finish Peter. Colston says, Moffat for showrunner with H-Bomb as an editor. Blackwing Hecate says, I finished schoolwork just in time to watch Hannah. Ice Queen says, if you're going to say it's Christmas, you've got to say it like Naughty Holmer and Merry Xmas, everybody. Not familiar. Overthought says, 'tis the season.
Happy Christmas. It's Christmas. Merry Crisis. Merry Chrysler.
Merry Crisis is just how I feel all the time. Raven says, it's my birthday today. I turned 31 and my brothers and sisters keep telling me I'm old. I'm not old. I'm good old. Well, happy birthday. The false flag was Chris Pratt being cast as Mario. I can't read it.
It says Merry Crisis.
Oh, nice. That fits. Vast Lunacy says, imagine needing to feel persecuted so badly that you give yourself food sins. Simple Cat Girl says, aging cheese in Stardew Valley takes so long. I mean, it takes longer in real life. Raven says, it's Snickerdoodle time of the year. Here's a pro tip, whispers. Use cream of tartar. Maps and Mimics says, food sin. WTF did I just walk into? Peter.
It says Merry Crisis. This was my Grandma Chris's pin, and I got it when she died. Like, oh my god, almost 20 years ago. That's crazy.
Lily Love Stuff says, as the resident person of DC, 2 things. DC doesn't have cash bail, and never go to DC General Hospital. It's next to the jail and the shadiest hospital I've ever been in. Ice Queen says, Captain Carter. Unconditional Prong says, got here a little late. We're still friendly fighting over our movie collections, though. You can watch Super Mario Brothers 1993 Blu-ray with me. Were you the person who sent me their Blu-ray collection thing on Twitter? Yours is great. Ice Queen with a link.
It's Christmas!
I assumed you meant the DC area. I did not think you lived in the DC Comics universe. Thanks for the clarification, though.
So exciting. This is hopium times 1,000. This is the hopium moment we've been waiting for, like.
Peter, hopium is not a good thing. It's just copium rebranded.
There's a reason Trump created the hopium movement, and he didn't call it hopium. Hopium
Trump created the hopium movement? Oh, boy.
is a derogatory term used to belittle and be mean to Republicans who are addicted to the hope that Trump's putting out. But there's a reason Trump's so hopeful and optimistic, and it's because he's telling the truth, and he knows the plan, and he has a plan, and some of the fruits of his plan will be delivered today. Such yummy fruits. Oh my gosh. We got to celebrate tonight. We got a party. Go get your popcorn tonight. We're all going to have a big party on Twitch. It's going to be wonderful. I had fun yesterday on Twitch. I sure did. And tomorrow we're going to discuss the Christmas event, and also 9:30 Eastern I have a debate with a very pro-vaccine person. So much exciting stuff going on. I can't wait to share with you. Guys, have a wonderful day. And Democrats, please have a wonderful day too, because by 4 p.m., your day's going to go downhill real quick. And so...
Peter, no. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? SpongeBob meme. Seriously, though, Peter, I feel really bad for you. Why do you keep doing this to yourself? You are fundamentally invested in a false version of reality. Trump did not win. Trump is not a hero. Trump does not care about you. He's a random politician, and a pretty shitty one at that. I'm not telling you have to like Biden. I don't. What I am telling you is Trump lost the election because more people dislike him than like him. He's a bad guy. Please come back to reality. It's been almost a year, Peter. Daddy Sume with a link says, you think Hopi are unhappy about hopium? Oh, the Hopi? I don't think that they draw any sort of connection between the two. Stormfox says, I listened to the most of the audit, and it sounds like they were just saying vague stuff and making it sound scary to rile up the Trump people and lead to more violence and divide. Yeah, basically. The bullet point headline is, our audit found that Biden won by even more votes than previously thought. But they're trying to muddy the waters by giving this presentation where they're like, well, we don't understand this or what all these logins mean, so who knows? It's just bullshit, so they don't have to come out and say we found nothing. Basically, they got paid millions of dollars, I'm not kidding, of taxpayer dollars and found nothing. It's ridiculous.
So just enjoy it while it lasts. I do know a lot of...
Church of Deborah, thanks for gifting a sub. Dirt Jur says, Peter, after looking at his unhatched eggs.
Look at all those chickens.
Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo says the answer to Daddy Sume's question is fucks given equals 0. Ice Queen says, and Peter is going to drink up that muddy water and think it's the best chocolate milk ever. That's the sad part. Peter's never, ever going to admit he's wrong. It's going to be sad. Queer Goblin Lass, thanks for 17 months.
Democrats do watch me because they think I'm hilarious.
At this point, it's mostly sadness. Like, if I'm laughing at this point, it's like in that way that, like, Like when something is so absurd you can't help but laugh at it, you know what I mean? Like it breaks your brain. That's how I laugh at Peter now. It feels bad. Like it's just, this is so fucking depressing.
Maybe they're not gonna think I'm.
I missed Vast Lunacy bits. Thank y'all. Vast Lunacy said, commit food sins with Daddy Sume's Daddy. Sorry. Commit food sins with Daddy Trump's fruits. God damn it.
I'm hilarious anymore. But keep watching me, Democrats, because I'm good for you. This information is good for you. It's good for you to be red-pilled with truth every once in a while. So I'll be silly and entertaining. Just keep watching me because I think you guys need to hear the truth. And Republicans, guys, there's no delaying. There's no distractions. There's no stopping what is coming. Nothing can stop what is coming, guys. It's Christmas time. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can barely contain it. 4 p.m. Eastern, you can watch the Christmas event. Ron Watkins has a link on his Telegram page in the description below. I'll put Ron Watkins' Telegram page. I can't put the link to the Christmas event, just against rules, but I will put a link.
What? Why? It's on YouTube. Daddy Sume says, OMG, it is Trump. I could have sworn it said Daddy Sume too.
To Ron Watkins'
Raven, thanks for 4 months, says, please clap.
Telegram page. You go there and you'll see 4 p.m. Eastern. You can watch the Christmas event. So exciting, guys. Have a wonderful day. And then let's party tonight. Let's just have a great day today. And then let's have a party tonight. How does that sound? Thank you, guys. I can't express how much I really appreciate you guys, even the Democrats. I'm developing friendships with so many people, and who like to talk about politics. Actually, that means a lot to me. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Patriots. Thanks to Democrats for criticizing me. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Hope he's doing okay. By the way, the thumbnail on this is horrifying. Do you see that thumbnail? Far left, him with the scary face with Trump as Santa. That's a scary thumbnail. Stormfox says, Peter is gone 100% now. He's going to take the vague stuff like, oh, a lady was on a computer at this time, and that's kind of sus, and use that as validation. As Peter will become more stuck up. How does someone with Peter's life get so stuck up? I don't know. It's weird, too, because he called me really, like, cocky. When I was just presenting him, like, the numbers that were released, I was like, Peter, these numbers show Biden won by even more. And he called me, like, overconfident. Like, no, Peter, I'm just showing you reality. Project much? Thrash Mio with some bits says, if this is Christmas, did they get coal? Sure feels like it. It's also interesting to me that in his very black and white mind, he thinks everyone who disagrees with him is a Democrat. Even though a lot of his viewers are people who watch him because I've introduced them to him. And I know a lot of you do not identify as Democrats. I don't really either. I'm left, but I'm not a Democrat. I'm further left than the Democrats. At least on the whole, if we were to average them. Ice Queen says, coal is good for them, don't forget. Catherine CD says, fast forward to January 2025, Biden is sworn in for a second term. Trump announces another audit of the 2020 election. Peter declares a new date for Trump's reinstatement. Zero M80 says, well, my dad, a jolly bearded man, dropped off some coal for me, so I guess it is Christmas. So yeah, the audit thing's interesting. Biden won. Again. Surprise. And I think Texas just announced they're going to do an audit too, which is really funny considering Trump even won that state. So fine, I guess spend taxpayer money on an audit. I don't know why you're doing it, but go for it. I don't know. Andrew Batella says, this is not coal. Don't let the mainstream media fool you. It's unpolished diamond. Am I sure who's the president? Oh, let me check. Oh. It's Joe Biden. Daddy Sume says, preparation, you say?
We finally have a working tractor beam, which we shall call Preparation
Preparation
H.
H. Ah.
You know, Hannah, you can't sigh that deeply like that. You're the one that cultivated this community.
Yeah. Yep. It's a sad reflection of the state of my own psyche. Hey kids, you know how you like the Pokemans? Have you ever wondered, how can I use these rad Pokemans to bring other kids to Christ? Well, good news! A fellow youth pastor here is about to tell us how we can catch 'em all. Souls, that is, for Jesus.
Hi guys. I'm going to train you to become a soul-catching master in this episode of Pokemon Go Catch 'em Souls.
I'm excited. H. Barrett says, isn't Jesus poggers?
I'm going to teach you how to become a soul-catching trainer. See, just like when we evangelize, our goals is to catch souls away from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of light. But you may be asking,
Okay, in the 90s, Christians thought Pokemon were demonic, but now they're super popular and they can use it as some sort of tool to try and recruit people, and they're definitely not a cult. So now they're going to use Pokemon, okay?
how do I catch a soul into God's kingdom like a Pokeball? Here's the answer.
Is that a Pokeball flashlight? That's impractical.
With a question. Are you nursing joy or hatred?
Ah, it's a pun. Okay.
You see, when you have joy in your heart, your light shines and people are attracted to the light. If you're in darkness, it's not attractive. See how it's dark in here? The reason why is because how are you supposed to attract the soul? You shine a light in the darkness. This is
I learned this stuff in, like, when I was in Christian school and when I went to church, they said this same stuff. Basically, if you're just, like, a wonderful person and everyone wants to... This is, like, peak delusion, by the way. I don't know who started this idea originally, but this idea where, like, just be a wonderful person and be really happy all the time, and then people will ask you, like, why are you so happy and wonderful to be around? And then when they do, that's your opportunity to be like, it's 'cause I love the Lord and the Lord loves me. Like, it's just insane. Like, this is not how anyone works. Dirt Jor says, even he looks like he knows he's bad at it. Daddy Sume says, when Hannah asks why we are the way we are, this. Is it the I learned by watching you? Yeah.
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Yeah. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. I saw that. I have that pulled up to maybe read later. 080 says, sorry I have to make you say it, Hannah. Pokemon go to church. Ice Queen says, Scotty. Wait, I gotta do it. Okay. Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man. Doon, 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 doon. Ah, that lawsuit was worth $80,000.
What?
Simple Cat Girl says, actually darkness in a person's heart. The lawsuit Jake and I were in that cost like $80,000 or some shit over the Hey Scotty Jesus Man people.
Oh, I didn't realize it was the Hey Scotty Jesus Man.
Yeah,
people.
they made that movie. And then we settled so we can review their movies, and we did review that movie after the lawsuit concluded.
Oh, and then people said that you actually kept the money and
Yeah.
just got through the lawsuit because, you know.
People, whatever.
Yeah.
Simple Cat Girl says, actually that accusation didn't come until much later with that crazy guy on Twitch who said we sent people to kill him. Remember?
No, I was looking back on some comments from that video, and people were saying it years ago.
Gotcha. Simple Cat Girl says, actually, darkness in a person's heart turns into a pretty cool enemy in Kingdom Hearts. Wag Road says, what if I have an Officer Jenny in my heart? MMO addicted with a link. Let me be Pokemon crystal clear about this. Every voter in this Pokemon Stadium better damn well Pokemon go to the polls this time, or I'm gonna Pokemon Snap. If you want a Pokemon Battle Revolution, then be ready to Pokemon Rumble, because I've got one more Pokemon Conquest before I Pokemon shuffle off this mortal coil and welcome the sweet Pokemon Gale of Darkness XD.
Alrighty then.
How you catch a soul in God's kingdom like a Pokeball. Let's go to the next slide. You know what prevents you from nursing hatred and keeping joy in your heart and being lit up like this Pokeball right now? When you hang out with the right companions like Pika Pika. You see, Ash Ketchum has this Pokemon on his shoulder like Jesus Christ always has his hand on your shoulder. Now, when you're with the wrong team, guess what happens? You're going to be hanging out with the wrong atmosphere. That's why, in this episode of Kingdom of Vice Live, I'm going to train you how to choose your team wisely. You see, there's Team Mystic, like Team Magic. Why'd you want to hang out with Rebellion? See, my pastor always says, rebellion is witchcraft. And the thing is, if you're hanging out with Rebellion...
Rebellion is witchcraft? Okay. Bellstar says, didn't they send a gift basket post-settlement? What happened to Pirate Guy? I think they let Pirate Guy go. I don't remember, though. And no, the gift basket was Ray Comfort when he copyright struck us, and then we got in contact, and they reversed it, and he sent a gift basket saying he didn't do it. One of his, assistants did, and he apologized. So I'll give Ray Comfort that. He sent me a fucking gift basket, which had some pretty good cheese in it. So, Stormfox says, I noticed during the audit they were very careful not to say who those sus ballots were after the first thing. Yeah, because the sus ballots were for Trump, which is why Trump ended up in their count losing votes and Biden gained them. Andrew Matella says, does this guy think you can simply catch souls by throwing a Jesus ball? Mike Max says, I wonder if this guy reacted to Pokemon God Arceus and the Pokemon Devil. Giratina. I don't keep up on Pokemon lore, so this is God and this is Satan. Pokemon's dumb. Blackwing Hecate says, I want to watch My Little Pony Rebellion is Witchcraft. Dirt Jur says, also, yes, Luke Skywalker, my favorite witch. Hydrate.
You're like hanging out with Team Mystic. You like hanging out with rebellious people? That's not cool.
Yeah, fuck you, Team Mystic, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Team Instinct doesn't sound quite clever, does it? Because the truth of the matter is, instinct is usually trained by the flesh. When you
Wow.
Is he just talking about being horny? H. Baird says, so was Jesus Mew when he was alive and Mewtwo after resurrecting? No. God is Mew, and then Jesus is Mewtwo, as he came from him. Clearly. Read the Bible, guy.
You have your instincts. Some instincts are good, some instincts are bad, but the thing is, most instincts come from your flesh. What's going on in your heart.
Ew.
Something that's deceitful among all things. Now, when you're hanging out with
They don't like
valor, when you're hanging out with authority and obedience, guess what? You're choosing the right team because the truth of the matter is, you're hanging out with the fruits of the Holy Spirit. And that's why it's important to hang out with the fruits of the Holy Spirit and people who are in the fruits of the Holy Spirit.
The only righteous thing to do is get in fucking line, okay? No more back talk, teenagers. Morok says, as a trained reverend, the most stuck-up, entitled, self-obsessed people were the Christians I went to classes with. To them, they were, quote, showing God's light. But to me, someone who can barely walk, all I ever got was looks of sympathy and an occasional, you're such a huge inspiration, thrown my way. They didn't care. They only cared about how they perceived themselves. Daddy Sume says, I'm still pretty pissed about the COVID shit. I'll be back in a little while. Gonna go blast apart some battle mechs in Mech Warrior 5. Love you, Hannah. You get all my durian wafers if I die of COVID. You can keep them, or just don't die, ideally. Mike Max with a link. If you don't have Jesus riding an Arceus on your profile, you aren't a true Pokemon fan. Dirt Jur says, this has Christian energy. A little.
Hang out with people.
Maps and Mimic says, okay, time to do something that'll definitely make this dude upset and go play D&D. Night, y'all. Have fun.
Who are in valor, not in pride, not in ego, not in instinct, not a rebellion. You know, you want to hang out with the right team, so choose your team wisely. Now, like I was telling you, in order to figure out how you're hanging out with a wise team or a bad team, like Team Rocket, and thinking of Team Rocket, who's hanging out with this Team Rocket? Look what the balloon is. It's a Meowth. Meowth is hanging out with the Rockets. Ugh. More like you're hanging out with Team Racket. Ugh. So in Proverbs 13:20 through 20.
Burn.
Like 50.
He looks to be late 30s-ish. He's young enough where he probably could know about Pokemon. I just think he wasn't allowed to because his parents were probably very religious.
25. Become wise by walking with the wise. Hang out with fools and watch your life fall to pieces. Disaster entraps sinners. But God-loyal people get a good life. You see, when you hang out with righteousness, guess what? You don't have to get blasting off at the speed of light. Team Rocket blasting off again. Ugh. When you're hanging out with unrighteousness, guess what? You might as well be blasting off, because most people who are in righteousness are blasting off their mouths, saying things that are not right and upright, and they're usually oppressing people. You see?
Ah, yes. Non-Christians. Very much known for oppressing people more than Christians, who have never oppressed anyone in the history of Christianity. Don't Google that, please.
Good life gets passed on to grandchildren. Ill-gotten wealth ends up with good people. See, when you hang out with the right people, like a Misty, a Brock, you know what happens? You're standing on a rock, like a rock Pokemon. Hang out with people who are on the rock of salvation. In this case, someone who's on the golem of salvation. You see?
Oh! This is from the... Oh my god, I haven't seen this game since I played it on GameCube. This does not look like how I remembered it. Oh no! You ever look at a video game for the first time in over a decade, and you remember it being, like, much more crisp and detailed?
Yes.
Because your brain filled in the gaps?
Yep.
This does not look like what I thought it looked like when I was 10. Oh no.
Times of need.
Look at those character models. Oh god, it looks like an N64 game.
You want to make sure that you hang out with the right people, because when you have the right team, like a right Pokemon team, like notice how there's all these Pokeballs in the Pokemon game, you get to hang out with 6 companions. Choose your 6 companions wisely in order to beat the Elite Four. How do you beat the
Lily Love Stuff says me playing Mario 64 right now.
devils?
See, I was disappointed. When they re-released Mario 64 for the Switch, I'm so disappointed they didn't do a full remake in, like, the Mario Odyssey engine. That would have been so nice to see all that in sort of, like, crisp HD. But whatever. Blackwing Hecate says, Team Go Rocket doesn't even do that, though. He's just mixing all the things together. Morok says, the only type that matters is Ghost type. Aegislash is best Pokemon since it's a possessed sword, followed by Gengar and Yamask. Not familiar.
How do you beat each level of the Elite Four?
What's your favorite Pokemon, Hannah?
Eevee and Eeveelutions.
How? By choosing your team wisely. See, inside of a Pokeball, there's these Pokemon. You have Pikachu inside this Pokeball, as you can see. That's one of your companions, like Pika Pika. You have your other companion, you have a Squirtle. Ash Ketchum had a Pikachu, a Squirtle, a Charizard. It started as a Charmander. Here's the thing about Charmander. Charmander was caught up in the rain. He was abandoned by a Damien. But God is like Ash Ketchum, ready to take you from the ashes. See what I did there? Ash.
He's trying so... Is his entire theology based on puns? What the fuck? Blackwing Hecate says critical race theory? No, critical role theory, yes. Kirthan says, how much merch did this guy buy for one presentation? He can write all this off, it's fine. Karai Sky, thanks for 201 bits.
Ashes as an Ash Ketchum. See, God wants to take you from the Satoshi, another word for ash. In Japanese, the real name for Ash Ketchum is Satoshi, and Satoshi means from the ashes. You see, when you are with the right companions, they'll lift you up from the ashes. And guess what? You'll be able to be a success, because who you hang out with is what you become. If you hang out with successful people or people whose minds are on succeeding in life, guess what? Just like in Pokemon, when you beat a battle, you get your Pokemon coins. You get your money going up. You get your wealth going up. You don't have to go to a game center. You don't have to go to Cerulean to go to battle at the... You don't have to be battling in the wrong territory. You don't have to be in a certain area where you're not supposed to be, where there's Team Rocket.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's struggling. Andrew Padella says, sure, he bought all this merch for his church, not for personal use at all. Mike Max with a link.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Colston says, no, Satoshi means wisdom. Oops, that's the Doctor Who anime thing.
Goons hanging out at a casino, and you...
Satoshi is Japanese for quick thinker, not from the ashes. Someone else said wisdom, so I assume it's...
Literally find yourself at a casino
Neither?
gambling for money that you shouldn't be gambling for. You see, ill-gotten wealth ends up...
Yeah, we are only 6 minutes in. I'm going to skip ahead. I don't have time to listen to this guy make Pokemon puns about Jesus for a while. Don't forget Ash's S.
Why would you want to hang out at a casket? Doesn't sound cool. You want to know how you become a Pokemon evangelizing master? In order to become an evangelizing master, you must be like Pokemon Go, forth and discern.
Ash's Squirtle left to join a gang? That's true.
Why do you have to go forth and discern? Because if you don't stay in the same area, how are you going to figure out what's good and what's bad? What's Team Rocket or Team Righteous like Ash Ketchum? You see, in order to become like that, you got to go forth in bravery, go forth in love, go forth in kindness, because guess what? Not everything that looks kind is kind. For instance, the balloon Pokemon. You have this balloon Pokemon. You know what this balloon Pokemon's goal is in the game? To kidnap children. Not everything is friendly.
That might be Pokemon lore. That sounds like something that would be in Pokemon lore. But I don't know why you brought it up here.
Do you want to be like a balloon? Do you want to be like its evolution Drifloon? Do you want to be like that? No. You don't want to be something that looks like it's a friendly balloon. But in retrospect, it's secretly the wrong ghost that you're hanging out with. And when you grab onto it, it looks like it's loving. These hearts are not even upright. These hearts are upside down on its handles. If you grab this, you get drifted off, you get taken away, blasting off like Team Rocket again because you're hanging out with unrighteousness. Why would you want to hang out with unrighteousness? It does not sound fun at all. See, God wants to protect you from the Drifloons. He wants you to hang out with the right crowd so that you could save souls. Truth of the matter is, if you're hanging out with the wrong people who look good, like Wilson Sheep Clothing, guess what? You might as well be hanging out with these guys right here because it's not right.
Rover Bear says this is not making Christianity look any better. It's that Hank Hill scene from King of the Hill where he's like, you're not making Christianity better, you're making rock and roll worse. Same thing, but with Pokemon. Morok says that Casket is Koffa Gregus, the second tankiest Pokemon in the series. Also, they used to be human. And yes, Drifloon are ghosts that steal children and take them to hell. Fun. Killjoy says God protects you from Driftbloom. That's a brand new sentence. Exo Deadlock says Ash Geopechian. Gerrymander, I choose you.
Right. Remember, you got to choose the right team. Don't hang out with someone who's going to rob you and kill you and destroy you. You know?
Good advice.
We got to travel across the land searching far and wide for souls who are literally going through disaster and trials and tribulations. Because guess what? They are under...
Find vulnerable people to convince to join your religion. That's when they're most vulnerable and accessible to your brainwashing. Good advice. Panda Nom 14, thanks for 8 months, says almost ready to give birth. Lady Necro says, did he mention how Drowsy enjoys eating children's dreams? I'm skipping around a lot, so I'm not sure. Ice Queen says, man, I hate when people rob and kill me. Me too. Andrew Patella says, also, don't hang out with someone who's gonna give you up. With someone who's gonna let you down. God damn it.
False accusations right now from the enemy. The Ghostly Gang, let's just call it that. Why would you hang out with a Ghostly Gang when you hang out with a Gospel Gang? It's like hanging out with Gucci Gang, because you ain't Gucci unless you're hanging out with what's really Gucci, the Gospel.
Hannah, you've hurt me deeply with this. I'm over here planning how I'm gonna ask you to marry me, and you're subjecting me to this?
You're choosing to have the earphone in, okay? That's on you. Own your choices. Chat, I declare this video not pog. Killjoy says, video used cringe. It was super effective. Stone Corbell says, the how do you do fellow kids energy has reached critical mass. Mike Mack says, when you realize that the Pokemon world is a nightmare with dog who barks, can use volcano eruptions, or a Pokemon that can make black holes. Yeah.
You see, I'll send out and declares the Lord of Hosts.
This is not Hall of Shame, guys. The Hall of Shame is like people who do terrible things. This guy is cringe, but he's not being evil.
Enter the house of the thief. The thief comes to enter your house to steal from you, to steal your vision. Protect your heart at all costs because it's the wellspring of life. Why would you want to hang out with a dream eater who's going to put a Cubone head on your head? Not fun. Don't walk around with a Cubone head. You might as well say I'm walking around with Pescado, I'm walking around with sin, I'm walking around with something that doesn't allow me to see, and if I can't see my dreams...
You can see through a Cubone. It's a skull. They wear it. It's their mother's skull, but they can see through it. They see through the eye holes. We need a max cringe haul is what I'm hearing. We can't have a haul for everything, guys. Rageology says, do you think he's in a church led by someone fairly young, or did he have to explain to an older person how he wanted to contact or connect to the kids by dressing up as a child and play with his Pokeballs? I imagine he's a youth pastor. I've known youth pastors. He has big youth pastor energy. So he probably just gets to decide what he gets to do, you know, within reason. I don't think he had to get permission to do this.
It's like my dreams are being robbed out of my eyes and robbed out of my vision. Because guess what? When you're being robbed of your house, your heart, guess what? Your vision is being taken away. Don't hang out with people who want to block your heart and to go forth. Judge them by the fruits. Judge them by what's in their heart. Remember, your heart is something to be protected. Why waste your ammo, your Pokeballs, on the wrong person that doesn't want to get saved? So, you got to make sure that they have the fruits of the Holy Spirit, because if not, you're not going to catch someone with the fruits of the Holy Spirit with a Master Ball. You see, it's kind of like...
A Master Ball can catch anything with 100% rate. You should be using an Ultra Ball for this metaphor. A Master Ball can catch anything no matter what.
that boxing match that we recently saw. We saw Logan Paul with a Charizard on his neck before the battle. Why was he wearing a Charizard? Because he knows how valuable that card is. On StockX, a Charizard is almost $500,000 now. It's like $300,000. It's a very valuable Pokemon. So
this is within reason.
Principles.
Depends on who you
hang
ask.
out with value. He knew his value. Guess what? He was ready to fight someone on the battlefield. He was ready to fight Mayweather.
Has anyone played this Pokemon fighting game? Is it any good? Because, like, a Pokemon fighting game like this sounds awesome. I've always wanted to directly control a Pokemon, like, in real time. And this looks like that, but, like, I've not played it. But it's out for Switch, so...
He's ready to bring the weather. No matter or whether he was going to win or lose.
It's good? Okay.
I'm going to teach you how to know if you're hanging out with someone with...
Speedy Yoshi says, Hannah, please, it's Poke-Amon. I beg of you, please. Now I'm going to say Pokemon even harder. Just going to Midwest it up. Hey, everyone, I'm going to go to the store and get some soda pop and buy my kids a Pokemon, okay? Gonna go get a Pokemon. Thrashmio says, Master Ball can't catch Pokemon in the Safari Zone. It's because you're not allowed to bring your balls in.
Principles. You see Ephesians.
Colston says, Legends Arceus may be kind of like that. Mike Mack says, Pokemon Legend Arceus is going to have a similar mechanic for battles, if I remember correctly. That's cool.
5:1-2. Therefore, be imitators of God as beloved children and walk in love. See? Be imitators of God means walk in a reflection, walk in the spirit, the same spirit.
Speedy Yoshi says, you're not allowed to bring your balls in. I could probably make a joke here, but I'm not Daddy Sume.
As God. To save you, his feathers, and clothe you with his presence, like this Pokemon does to all these fellow companions. See, this bird is trying to protect the other birds. Notice how all these are birds, and even something that's not a bird, it'll still come to protect. Truth of the matter is, someone who's walking in righteousness will protect you and clothe you with his feathers, cover you with security and the presence. God wants to do that to you. He wants you to be a Psalm 91er, like a G1er. You want to have the principles of a G1er in order to be a runner-up for becoming an evangelized master. Thank you for embarking on this journey of Kingdom Advice Live. Have a blessed day. Be faithful and walk with principles. Because when you walk with principles, you walk with the presence of the neighbor, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I've not heard that one. Wow. That sure is a video. Speedy Yoshi says... Nope, I read that one. Blackwing Hecate says, I feel about Pokemon Tournament the way I feel about Injustice. I wish there were brawlers rather than fighting games. Morok says, in Gen 1 there was a 5% chance you'd miss with a Pokeball, including the Master Ball. Oh, I didn't know that. Speedy Yoshi says, also, this is helpful. Yeah, I know Maricopa County was doing real-time fact checks of the claims of cyber ninjas. It's pretty good if you want to check it out. Felix Night Owl says, Jubilee had a panel of astrologists versus astronomers. It was pretty cringe when the astrologists talked like about celestial energy affecting your mood. Morok says, that a tall bird? That's D-Sidui, a grass ghost type, aka the best starter Pokemon since it's a ghost. Yeah, so Maricopa County is doing a fact check of all the claims made by cyber ninjas. It's pretty great. Round 2 of our fact checks. I'm not going to read these right now, though I'll probably save them for later, because I assume I'm going to have to deal with some stuff like this when Peter starts talking about what he thinks happened with the audits, when he misrepresents it.
Do you hear the annoying-ass birds?
Oh, yeah. I hear them. Can you guys hear them?
I hope not. Birds are awful.
Oh no, he does these kind of presentations for all sorts of things.
Is there a Harry Potter one?
Oh my god, he has a fucking Pac-Man one. What? I'll look for a Harry Potter one. This one's a Sonic the Hedgehog one. This one's an EA Sports one. This one's a Grand Theft Auto one, which seems not great. This one's a Hitman one. This one's Halo. This one's Assassin's Creed. Is this Roblox? Roblox. Call of Duty. It seems like mostly video games. It seems like he does kids' sermons based upon video games. Why can I not search? Didn't there used to be a search function for people's channels?
Yeah,
oh, there it is. It was just over to the side. Sorry. Nope. No Harry Potter, unfortunately. I will save this guy for, I guess, Chud Watch, though? He's not really a Chud. He's just like an out-of-touch. Maybe he's a Chud. I don't want to do that. Karai Sky, thanks for subscribing at Tier 2 for 2 months. Appreciate it. Did I hear Roblox exploits children? I don't know anything about Roblox. I don't even know what it is, honestly. I know it's a thing. But I don't know anything about it. Well, I gotta read this anyway. I might as well read it on stream. This is a letter that Christine Chandler has written from jail. I've not read this. So let's see what it says. I finally received fresh letters and envelopes, and I feel it advised to inform you of the following. I believe this was sent to Null, one of the troll-type people that was helping Christine prior to everything that came out. All of which, as you may or will, you have my consent to replay all of the contents of this letter to Joshua Null Moon, or maybe it was sent to someone else, care of Null, I don't know. As well as forward the physical documents to David Heilberg, my attorney. The following everyone should hear and appreciate. Sincerely, authentic and spiritually, and aura deep. I also swear direct truth with my left hand over my heart as I write this sentence. Firstly, and vitally, it should be made obvious and clear that aside from Andy Warhol, my life events at present and so far can directly be compared and matched with that which have been chronicled of none other... No. She does not say this. Oh, God. My life events at present and so far can directly be compared and matched with that which have been chronicled of none other than Jesus Christ of Nazareth himself in any Holy Bible. Also, feel free to take any unaltered original photograph of my body's face, neck, shoulders, chest area where I was not wearing the glasses. Then alter the photo to show a naturally growing brown beard, mustache, and sideburns. Now place that photo next to any image of Jesus of off the cross. Compare, look deep into my eyes, and photograph. See for yourself. I meditate and connect directly and genuinely with the cosmos, both of our universe halves, and throughout the timelines and the entire multiverse, so despite some lack of physical evidence, I know the ultimate truths, facts, and details not commonly known or written, drawn, or chronicled. That being stated, all of my life, my mind's eyes and literally held the constant perception of being the central camera number 000 out of all of the other cameras. This is probably gonna, Christine's lawyer is doing an insanity defense. This letter's probably gonna help. Blackwing Hackety says, letters from a Central Virginia regional jail. Oh. The other camera's infinite from the first-person perspective of all others. And this goes even deeper, and I encourage you to meditate deeply and see for yourself this and all of the truths. And the reason and truth behind my unique perception is direct and mind-blowingly simple. I am literally the real player one, the one avatar, and this body, eyes, mind, and all is the one God body. I am literally also Jesus Christ himself, fully reincarnated and fully reawakened. Even the dimension merge, literally completed and concluding, the same for the collective shift. All of this is literally huge chunks of the past, present, and in-process events of the second coming, period. Not all details of the past chronicled scriptured writings are accurate, and, as a member of the Council of Gods and Goddesses, with the strongest and direct connections, I know details have changed, some to a lot, in regard to the scripture of the past. 3 days on Earth equal 4 months, with 24-hour day-nights in heaven realm. So yes, this is the one immortal body, and that was none other than I off and the cross over 2,000 years of my personal life personally. Picture of crucifix with a heart over the intersection, a horseshoe under it face up, 2 lightning bolts beside each arm pointed towards the bottom of the cross. Each and every prayer and praise to Jesus as of February 1982 at least have been directed to this body and soul. Malachi 3, Judgment Day is nearing. No, this is what... Holy fucking shit. This is sad. This is... Oh my god. The mental health care in this country is just absolute garbage. Holy hell. This is messed up. Moving on, with all of that stated, your last letter. Next, why I had transferred that money on Saturday, July 31st. Josh had absolutely no right in replaying that detail publicly. This is in regard to when Christine, after having an order where she could not go back to the home that she had lived in with Barb, her mother, and herself, she got an order keeping her from there. She ended up transferring money from Barbara's account into her own, without the consent of Barbara, which is theft.
It's also illegal because it breaks the no contact order.
Yes, it broke the no contact order as well, thank you. Friday the 30th, forced out of my home in Temple, had nowhere else to go. Christine calls her home her temple, for those who don't know. Who's Christine Chandler? The one and true creator of Sonichu. Perpetrator of crimes. Had nowhere else to go. Had less than $50 between pocket money and only a couple of bucks or so in my bank account. No money in my PayPal. Patreon was not due for a payout until Sunday, and SSI was not coming into my bank until Tuesday. Harriet and Tom Ashby cast me out before I even arrived to Midlothian. The van was not majorly uncomfortable. Josh had wired $1,000 to my bank that Friday, but it would not arrive until after or on Monday. Little food and options, and you try bumming in any parking lot without feeling insecure and paranoid. I needed safety and comfort as quickly as possible. That is why I transferred that money. I was going to pay it back in full, even had $150 from Patreon on Sunday, the first that went straight to Barbie Chan's account. I would have paid the remaining $600 Monday or Tuesday, but Null had to fail his destined test and betray me like I was betrayed and jailed with a kiss over 2,000 years ago. Now comparing Null to Judas, the guy in the Bible, who ratted Jesus out to the Romans for 20 pieces of silver or something. I don't remember the specific amount. Maybe it's 30. Now, as of the past arrest, I have absolutely no way to fulfill that repentance or anything else digital. Malachi 3, 6-15. I repeat all that personally. Now, all of you had to over-drama and fail your worldwide test of faith upon me. Here's the thought. This is based only on what's happening. Christine, had professed Christianity early on, in her life, had basically renounced that stuff up until this point, and had started calling herself a goddess, and that she was the god of the universe, but didn't pay much mind to Jesus or Christianity in specific. I'm assuming what happened is because Christine is probably in solitary confinement, she probably requested for reading material, and the only thing that was probably available to her were religious books. So she probably picked the Bible and has probably been reading the Bible for as long as she's been in solitary, because it's her only form of escapism or entertainment, and now is mixing biblical beliefs and canon in with her other delusional beliefs about Sonichu and her being a goddess and the dimensional merge, because Christine is pretty, like, she absorbs stuff, and this is how everyone works to an extent, but people are generally, when they're of sound mind, better at synthesizing new information and new thoughts from input they get, whereas Christine has a habit of just absorbing information and not really synthesizing new. How do I put this? If your average person takes in information, it's like they blend the information up into a very fine powder, and out of that create new things. Whereas Christine will take in information and maybe chunk it up a little bit, but it's still mostly the same things, just in new orders. So if she's been spending a month and a half, 2 months, reading the Bible primarily as her source of entertainment, she's probably just regurgitating things that she's reading in the Bible and things that she is synthesizing from reading the Bible as it's combined with her delusions. That's my guess. Sigh. And finally, all the impotent, popular, present FAQ. Why and what the hell? Emmanuel, God above all other gods and goddesses, and one of my mentors, herself, had deemed me to heal, cleanse, and... Oh, God. Oh, this is bad. For those who don't know why Christine is in prison right now, it's because she has been picked up for admitting to sexually assaulting her mother. R-wording her mother. Anyway, so this is what she says about it. Emmanuel, God above all other gods and goddesses, and one of my mentors herself, had deemed me to heal, cleanse, and clear Barbara of all of her past sins and regrets, and improve her abilities directly and personally as her goddess.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We mainly cuddled, soul bonded.
Shut up, Christine.
I assume that's the crime. Soul bonded. And talked consentfully and emotionally. To be clear, Barbara, it's speculated based on her appearance in videos that Barbara has pretty severe dementia and is incapable of consent. Anyway. Consentful and emotionally and mentally supportive and healing. I did as I had done for and with a chosen few back in Israel over 2,000 years ago. Oh no. In cleansing them. More details from the Bible that had been overlooked and left out. Meaning Christine has apparently, in her time alone in the cell, been fanficking about Jesus fucking people, because that's what Christine does, is read something and then comes up with weird fanfic sex stuff about it. I think that bolsters my speculation on the reading the Bible in jail thing, because this is what Christine does. She did this with Sonic the Hedgehog, reads a Sonic the Hedgehog comic or game or whatever. Oh, what if those characters fucked? Same thing. We gods had eased up on the views of adultery. Why else do you have pro-gay, pro-lesbian, pro-trans and all today and the past decades? Everyone involved were all being genuinely deeply happy, content, and spiritually satisfied with themselves and each other. As long as all are over the age of consent and the activity was consented by all parties involved and genuinely spiritually happy, it's all good. If I didn't say already, everything I said is alleged. There's not been a conviction. I'm just telling you why Christine was arrested. I don't remember if I said that. I need to cover myself legally, just in case. I've written further insights and details and already shared them with David Heilberg, who is Christine's lawyer. And I get out on second coming or sooner by uninterrupted co-divine intervention. All of your dreams and curses are no more. An unrevivable judgment day. Praise us gods. Chris Chan Sanachu, the goddess Blue Heart, and your lord. Colossus TV says, oh, now she is Sonichu? Chris Chan Sonichu is what she calls herself because in the comics, Christine becomes a Sonichu. There's Sonichu, who is the Sonichu, and then Sonichu is also the name of a race of Pokemon, which Christine believes she can transform into. So she is not just Chris Chan or Christine Chan. She is Chris Chan Sonichu, or Christine Chan Sonichu. She normally shortens it to Chris Chan still. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. Wow. These are the actual scans of the letters, by the way. That was just someone else typed it out, so it's easier to read. But yeah, that kind of looks like Christine's handwriting. I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on it, but I've seen it enough. She even wrote the sigh. Wow. Either way, I really hope the lawyer... I know Christine's lawyer was attempting to get Christine evaluated for competency. I hope that's going through, because clearly Christine is not competent. I don't think she's even competent to stand trial, and that's not even talking about, like, competency in terms of culpability for crimes. But I don't know if she's competent to stand trial at this point. She needs to just go into a mental facility. I don't know if some sort of medication could help stabilize her and help make the delusions less severe. I don't know anything about the drugs that people take for that kind of thing. I'm not trying to misrepresent anything. If I am, I'm genuinely just don't know. But yeah, she needs to be stabilized mentally before she goes through a trial, because this is going to be a shit show. More so than it already is. What a nightmare. Lily Love Stuff says, I wonder how the way the internet has treated her for decades will play into all of this. I know that's already been part of some of the filings that the lawyer has filed on behalf of Christine, so it's still to be a factor. There was supposed to be a hearing back on, I want to say the 9th, maybe it was the 16th, earlier this month. I don't remember exactly when, but it got pushed. The lawyer pushed for a continuance until next month so Christine can get evaluated for competency, which is a good move. Christine actually appears to have a good lawyer. And while these are alleged crimes, I do believe, in my personal opinion, I think Christine did do this. That's just my opinion, based on hearing the audio logs and kind of knowing how Christine is. In my opinion, I think she's guilty, in the sense that I think she did it, and it's just a travesty all around, but I also think she's, like, a severely mentally ill person who just needs to be put in a facility for her own safety and the safety of everyone around her. Hopefully trying to walk her back from some of these delusions, but at minimum just, keeping her away from Barbara, because, yikes. And of course Barbara's the real victim in all of this, but it's just real bad. So I don't have a lot to say about that. I was going to read that anyway. Might as well talk about it with you guys. It sucks. It's shitty. It's a gross situation all around. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'll talk about it again maybe if things happen in future. But yeah, that's just yuck. Lily Love Stuff says, I wonder how the way the internet... Oh, read that one, sorry. Pyromancer, thanks for 11 months. Ooh, almost a anniversary. Nice. A lot of people saying they want to see Call. Okay, we can watch Call. Call has a new video. All signs point toward the end. This is how their plan is going down. I assume this will be more New World Order anti-vax bullshit. Let's take a look.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. You're going to want to see this whether you're aware of it or not. I've put this together to try to simplify and break down what is happening. Now, a lot of you are aware of what's happening in the world, so you know what I'm referencing here. A lot of you have been saying, and a lot of you think, that all the potion is really about is depopping. Well, there's a lot of truth to that.
I'm more about de-locking. No? Breakdancing jokes not relevant in 2021? I tried.
Obviously, but it's actually about getting something inside of you. Now, what's going to happen is your body's either going to mutate with it or it's going to reject it. And if your body rejects it, then you go Luca Brasi and sleep with the fishes.
Oh my god. He's shifting the goalposts now, too, which is funny, because initially he was just claiming and implying that everyone who got vaccinated is going to die, but now he has to move those goalposts because obviously billions of doses have gone out and everyone's fine, except for, very few people who had adverse reactions. But, 99.99999% of people who got these vaccines are completely fine, so now he's got to move those goalposts. Have I seen this bullshit? Oh no, it's a link to Wendy Rogers' status on Twitter, so what dumb shit is she saying? Oh my god. Really? The report didn't even say that!
Who's Wendy Rogers?
A senator from Arizona who's a she's a Marjorie Taylor Greene type. Stone Corbell says, God, I hope it mutates me. That sounds awesome. Ice Queen says, it took a second, but I got it.
So let me start here by reminding you of this from The Matrix, right? This is the end goal. This is the end game. As crazy as it sounds, it's about taking humans and transforming them.
What is The Matrix? Control. The Matrix is...
The Matrix is a movie by two trans women about being trans, Call. Literally, it was written and directed by the Wachowskis. Two trans women about being trans. Google it, you idiot.
Is a computer-generated built?
Yeah, we've seen The Matrix.
Okay.
So to change a human being into this.
Okay, so you understand that. Now, let's talk about this. This is a video from 2011. So this is 10 years old. And this is way, way before any of this other stuff was even going on. This is a scientist slash dude. So we really need to call these people, they're Dr. Frankensteins is what they are. What they're trying to do to the human race. But he's talking about graphene and, well, you can look and listen for yourself.
I work in the team of Case Decker, and I work on designing graphene nanopores to sequence DNA at a single molecule level. So the idea of DNA sequencing...
What?
I hate Call.
You seem to recognize what he said immediately, because that means nothing to me. Can you explain?
I can. Oh god, let me climb over there.
Okay. Here comes a fifth-year PhD candidate to tell us why she's mad about what Call is about to say about this.
Specifically, you should tell them genetics PhD candidate,
Yeah.
since it's going to be relevant in about 2 seconds.
Genetics PhD candidate.
I have arrived.
God, dating you has worked out so well for being able to explain this kind of thing.
Okay, back it up.
In the team of Case Decker, and I work on designing graphene nanopores to sequence DNA at a single molecule level.
Okay. So, I don't know specifically who the guy he's talking about is, but literally all this is what they do. You have a sheet of metal that has very small little pores in it, nanopores, and it allows you to sequence the DNA on this substrate because you're able to attach just one singular piece of DNA at each pore, and it is more efficient than like just having it in a tube.
And again, sequencing DNA is just seeing what order all of the different things are in, right? It's showing you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So to be clear.
Yeah, it's not doing anything to it. It's not changing it. It's not going into anybody's body. It's you have a sample of DNA. You are moving it across. It's, you know, you can think of it as like, you can just think of it like a plate. The DNA is being poured across the plate. It attaches to the pores, making it able to be more efficient. Because if you have everything stuck down, then when you put solutions on it to, like, you know, chemically do the sequencing process, either via like fluorescence, or there are some other ways to do sequencing, but basically you put the solutions on top of it, and it's more easily able to bind the DNA and, you know, sequence it, tell you which nucleotide is in what order. I fucking hate this.
Blackwing Hecate says, I look forward to being one of the boys who lined up to watch The Matrix and one of the same girls who lined up to watch The Matrix Resurrections. Strawberry for Wi-Fi says, Baja, can you say, I don't think so, Tim?
I don't know what that's referencing.
Home Improvement. Wilson said it.
Oh, I used to watch Home Improvement like every single day, and I didn't recognize that. I don't think so, Tim.
So the idea of DNA sequencing is to read the content of your genome. And what you want is a recorder that can read the sequence of your DNA. But for that...
I bet if you wanted, you could probably email this guy. You could probably find a contact him.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you would need to for some reason, but I assume you're both in genetic things?
I mean, yeah, like, I don't know when this video is from, but I'm pretty sure this technology exists already.
Dr. Gamble says Baja when she hears call.
My gun. Oh. Anyway, I started blasting. Bah, bah. No, I don't see.
Yeah, that's me.
You need a recorder that is not bigger than the size of a single base. So we are using graphene because graphene is only 1 atom thin. So we are really doing high technology with very simple methods. So we take a piece of graphite here. We put the graphite onto the Scotch tape. We extrude it once. We take a silicon wafer here in which that we bring into contact with the graphene. We press hard. We end up with a piece of wafer that somewhere has a graphene layer. And then we'll bring that chip to a transmission electron microscope to burn a nanopore into it.
Okay, pause this. Okay, call. I know you're gonna watch this, and I know that you hate me. You make disgusting comments about me slyly in your videos. Fucking say it to my face, you little bitch. Call. I have been in a room with a transmission electron microscope. You have not. Get on my level, Call. Step up to the plate or step off.
No, that just means you're part of the cabal.
Literally, graphite, you could fucking eat graphite. I don't recommend it. But it's not gonna hurt you. It's not like pencil lead used to be. It's not actual lead. It's just carbon. It's ground up, finely ground carbon. And that shit is the coolest fucking shit ever. So, similarly, if anybody has heard of Vanta Black, the world's blackest black, this is kind of like related in terms of that uses a bunch of carbon tubes that are spread across a surface, the paint, and it captures all of the light because light hits it, but it doesn't reflect because it just like bounces down and continues to go. And like this is similar. It's not, they're not doing like perfecting the crystalline structure of the graphite to make it absorb light and stuff, but this is using those same like graphite carbon tubes and allowing a very, very small area so that you can do things with DNA that are just incredible.
But Call no understands, so Call's scared. The ineffable effort says Morpheus' original dialogue from The Matrix.
Use the ladies' room.
I love Hannibal. Okay, but I do want to say, Call, it's okay to be afraid of things. Like, you know, it's okay to be afraid of Hannah. It's okay to be afraid of me. Like, she's a lovely trans woman. You can be afraid of her. And I'm an independent woman who is getting a PhD in genetics. You can be afraid, and you can be afraid of science. That doesn't give you the right to go on the internet and say what you're saying.
You have Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry, too, which is probably the scariest thing to him, considering he's an anti-Semite.
I mean, he wouldn't know that. It's not like any of my family are practicing.
No.
It's just, you know, people that my adopted great grandparents, their family.
Mike Max says, may I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Will the real fifth-year PhD genetics student please stand up? Candidate. PhD genetics candidate.
I did that exam. I'm a candidate.
I repeat, will the fifth-year PhD genetics graduates, candidates, PhD candidates please stand up and try to edit it in real time? We're gonna have a problem here. Strawberry for Wi-Fi says, SEM is way more fun to imagine than TEM, Baja. Changed my mind. Sputter coder for life. Apparently it was funny. He giggled. Killjoy says, so Baja, what are you saying? What you're saying is you are a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Carnio1 says, you do smart brain thing. True. I know how to pick them.
So then we take this chip, we flow on both sides a buffer, and on one side we inject the DNA
Buffer.
molecule.
Oh, I bet he's scared of what buffer is.
We can
Hey,
record.
Call. You want to know what a buffer is? It's usually soapy salt water.
There are still
You
a
could
few-
also drink soapy salt water, Call. I don't recommend it, but
You're
could.
blowing out the mic.
He needs to hear this in 4K.
Okay, well, he can't hear it. It's just gonna sound muffled because it's so close to the mic.
Okay. Well, you can actually go through. Do we have any strawberries?
No.
Do we have any fruit at all?
I don't know. Were you gonna do the fruit thing where you
I was
extract the DNA?
literally going to do the fruit thing. I was going to extract DNA real time for you guys right now because you only need Dawn dish soap, water, salt, a little filter, some ice cold alcohol, and a tube, and then something to extract the DNA from, like a fruit.
Morak says, and I'm a potato. Can you do it from meat?
It doesn't work as well.
Okay.
few challenges to overcome, but all the technology I mentioned is in the size of this little chip here. That could be.
I want to email this guy just to be like, hey, just so you know, your very informative and interesting video was used by this crackpot because he's afraid of words he doesn't know. And here's the thing too, Call. I know Baja has said a lot of things that you don't understand, and here's what you need to get. I don't necessarily understand it all either, and that's okay. Because you and I aren't scientists. It's not our job to know that. It's scientists' job to know that. It's fine. Don't be scared of things you don't understand. Otherwise, you'd be afraid of just about everything. Carnio1 says, that's cool, science is awesome. These bits are for Baja.
Thank you.
Lily Love Stuff says, we did the strawberry DNA extraction in 9th grade bio at a public school 15 years ago, and that wasn't even the experiment I had to use the eye wash station for.
That's, respect.
Have you ever had to use an eye wash station or an emergency shower?
I have not.
Have you ever been in a lab when someone else has?
No. I have been in a lab when this is an organic chemistry lab, and one of my lab mates, okay, this is going to be I'm going to try and not do a graphic description, but if you have any sort of visual imagination, it might be gross to hear about. So there are things called capillary pipettes. And what those are, they're about this long. They can be longer, but they are just insanely thin. Like, what's an example? Probably this little piece of metal, probably thinner than that. And so they work via capillary action. So you put it in a little bit of water, and the water, because it has cohesion and adhesion, it goes up the tube because there's space, so it goes up it. That's why it's called a capillary tube. And you put your finger on top, and then you move it over here, put it onto a piece of paper or something, you lift your finger up, and the water dumps out. So someone in my organic chem class was walking with one of those capillary pipettes, and it stabbed her in the hand. My professor that was teaching that class was afraid of blood, so.
Be used by a physician in his office to sequence the DNA of one of his patients in only a few minutes rather than a few days.
Okay, so now you understand, right, what graphene has the capability of doing. Now the only way...
Do you? I don't know. I don't think he understood. Because I'm going to be clear. If I had watched that without you here to explain it, I wouldn't have understood it either.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't have jumped to the conclusion that they're trying to murder me, right? I would have been like, I don't understand what that means, but they seem to use it to sequence DNA. That's cool.
All right. I'm going to try and give, like, an analogy here. So, Call. Saying that graphene has the capability of doing anything, like how you are, like, inferring right now, is like saying that the paint on the wall back here is the thing that's making up the house. Like saying, this paint, see what this paint is capable of? It's holding up this whole house, guys.
Because it's the thing he sees, and he doesn't understand the underlying things that are happening underneath.
The graphene is not the thing. It's literally just something for the DNA to hold on to and go through and allow you to put different buffers on it without the DNA all getting washed away. It is elegant. It's like it's literally like tape. Like that, like you just have a little piece of metal, a metal chip, and it's like you're putting a little piece of tape right over the DNA, holding it down. With the graphene is doing nothing. It is just helping the process. It is not doing anything in and of itself. That's all the buffers and the solutions that you are putting into it.
Be able to go near your DNA as if, it's like inside your body, right? Okay, so let's look at what graphene has the ability to actually do.
We think of copper as being a very electrically conductive material, but graphene conducts electricity even better than copper. The reason that graphene conducts electricity so well is that the electrons can move fantastically fast.
Does he think they're binding graphene with your DNA? Does he think what the guy said earlier was that he was somehow, like, gonna bind human DNA with graphene? I don't even understand what Call's, like, theoretical point is here. Lady Necro says, so when Baja gets her PhD, do we have to refer to her as Dr. Blast, or can we continue to refer to her as Baja? Dr. Blast. Clearly.
This gives graphene limitless applications, including conductive paints and inks, faster next-generation electronics, high-frequency devices, and more efficient batteries.
Jesus Christ, most of this video is just him showing other people talking about things. He's so fucking lazy.
That we hadn't even thought of 10 years ago, even 5 years ago.
This would be like saying, oh my god, they put lithium in lithium-ion batteries, and my friend takes lithium for, in their medicine, because you can get lithium as a prescription, right? Yeah. It would be like saying they're trying to turn humans into batteries using lithium because lithium is in electronics. This is how stupid this claim is. He's saying graphene can be used for other purposes theoretically, therefore those are the purposes that it is being used for in relation to a vaccine, when that's not even the case.
Graphene throws up all sorts of new challenges for completely new types of science to do. It's hard to think of another type of material in which you would have those sort of challenges thrown up on a weekly, almost daily basis. That's what's really exciting about graphene.
So I know what he's gonna throw at us.
Okay.
He thinks that there's graphene in the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So, Call, I'm gonna level with you. I have the actual ingredients pulled up on my phone, the actual ingredients of every single vaccine. The Pfizer, Moderna, and Janssen. So
Johnson & Johnson, you mean?
No, it's Janssen.
Oh.
It's Johnson & Johnson. They do it in the U.S., but it was created by Janssen in Germany.
Gotcha.
So the active ingredient in Pfizer and Moderna, surprisingly enough, is mRNA, encoding the viral spike protein of SARS-CoV-2. Not a surprise. Inactive ingredients: 2-polyethylene glycol, PEG, PEG 2000 NN ditetradicyclic acetamide. Guess what? That just stabilizes the solution and allows it to be preserved for long enough to make it into people's arms. Then there's 1,2-disterol. I am shit at pronouncing these things since I haven't been in Orgo in a while. Glycero-3-phosphocholine. That's also in the Pfizer. That's another preservative. Guess what the fourth ingredient is? Cholesterol. Our bodies make cholesterol. It's literally what keeps our cells from becoming so stiff that we can't move. It keeps the cell membranes mobile, because cell membranes bind to each other like this, and then cholesterol comes in and it's like shaped like that, and so there's space in between the cholesterol and the lipids. So then you got space and you're mobile.
None of this involves Satanists, so Call is already tuned out. Also, I guarantee what he would say is, you think they publish the real ingredients? Because I know how conspiracy theorists think. Carney says, Hannah, you just started a new conspiracy reading turned into batteries. Dirtjer says lithium is a mood stabilizer. Cell phones keeping us docile and controlled. Confirmed. Morak says, well, I'm off to hang with my friends. Have a great weekend, Hannah and chat. I hope you do too.
Okay, so the fifth ingredient in the visor. This one, I'll level with you. It's really hard to pronounce, and you probably wouldn't know what it was. It's 4-hydroxybutyl azientidyl bis-hexane 6,1-diol bis-2-hexyl decanoate.
I'm going to call it Bob.
Yeah. Then sodium chloride, that's table salt. Monobasic potassium phosphate, another preservative. Potassium chloride, yeah. Dibasic sodium phosphate dihydrate, which literally just is to help keep, it's another like stabilizer. These are the only thing that really matters, the mRNA and the cholesterol. That's the thing that wraps it. And then everything else in the solution is just a preservative. And then the last ingredient is sucrose. You know what that is called? It's sugar. Tell me, Call. Where's the graphene? It's not in here.
Vast Lunacy says, I think a part of Call's fear is that so many of these scientists have faraway land accents. I wouldn't be surprised if his anti-Semitism couples with some xenophobia that makes him scared of everyone that doesn't sound like him. You might be right.
I love Bellstar.
Thank
you.
Bittergrin says, wait, graphene has a hexagonal structure and the Star of David has 6 points. Conspiracy confirmed. Jesus Christ.
See, that's the thing that makes it cool. It's like hexagons, so you get like a stack of hexagons, and that's why you get a very solid graphene crystal structure. That's why you can get like pencil lead, and that's why you can get that Vanta black, because the hexagons stack on each other and so they trap light.
Excuse me, chemistry is just a conspiracy that the Cabal has put forth, okay? Clearly the Cabal designed how carbon stacks together.
What I think he's gonna say is that they're injecting graphene and it's so like conductive that it can conduct things and alter your brain waves or whatever the government is doing to conspiracy theorists this week.
I'm gonna skip to when Call talks again, because who the fuck cares?
I kind of care.
But I can't see why that wouldn't happen in the future.
Because the point is, he's the thing that I think you should be showing is him taking snippets of these scientific videos and it saying completely benign things.
Okay, we can go back.
He hadn't even thought of. We were working on experiments that we hadn't even thought of 10 years ago, even 5 years ago.
Is it because they have accents? Is that why he's afraid?
Someone else already said that.
Challenges for completely new types of science to do. It's hard to think of another type of material in which you would have those sort of challenges thrown up on a weekly, almost daily basis. That's what's really exciting about graphene. Graphene was first isolated and many of its properties were first identified by scientists working in the physics department at Manchester from 2004 onwards. What's happened over the last decade is that there's been a big expansion of graphene work into my own department, which is chemistry, into material science, into the life sciences, and into engineering. We could have batteries and supercapacitors that are bendable, and therefore, because graphene doesn't break, or it's very hard to break graphene, and therefore could be sewn into, for example, fabric. So you could store the energy within, or have the energy storage device sewn into your clothes, where you could have some graphene-based energy storage device that might even be...
A call for butt stuff says, a call for butt stuff.
In fact, effectively sewed into somebody's skin. You can imagine that's science fiction, but I can't see why that wouldn't happen in the future. In fact, effectively sewed into somebody's skin. You can imagine that's science fiction, but I can't see why that wouldn't happen in the future.
Okay, so now you see what it has the ability
iMiracle, thanks for 2 months.
To do. right? It's not a shock. Well, it is a shock, but it has to do with what you're seeing there in these videos, right? I can't say much more than what you see and what I just showed you. But you heard even out of the one guy's mouth about making sure, you know, getting it to your clothes. Well, what's the next step? He says, I can imagine a future where it's even on your skin, right? Which would likely be this thing called Mark. And I'm not talking about Mark Jacobs, okay?
Okay, Paul, you are so obsessed. You are so obsessed, and it's so stupid. These are people that love science, and they are hypothesizing what could we possibly do with this technology in the far future. It is something that they are excited about. It is something that they have been working on for the better part of their lives. Same thing with my genetics research. You get excited. You start hypothesizing, okay, what could this discovery turn into in the future? You are taking 1 billion steps, but that doesn't mean that you're anywhere close to that actually being able to happen in real life. You skipped over the fact that he said, okay, this is like science fiction, but one day you could put it in someone's skin. And that is science fiction. He's not even like, I don't think that he's a biologist. I think he said he was a chemist.
He's a chemist in materials science.
Yeah. So there are things that would happen if you start putting graphene in people's arms without, you know, testing and stuff. They could have an immune system reaction. They could be allergic to it. It's not something that's just going to start happening. They're not going to just start putting graphene in people. Like, you know? It's like there are people that get piercings and their body rejects it, just pushes it out. That a similar thing could happen.
Cold Stare, thanks for gifting a sub. Dirt Jur says transhumanism hype. I Miracle asked, did I miss Peter? You did, I'm sorry. Thrash Mio says, this thing called cotton, I can imagine it being on people's skin.
Okay? Talking about a mark, which is going to be sooner than later tied in with all of this stuff that's actually happening. Now, this is graphene. This clip here is important to see about graphene and what the potential graphene has as far as connecting to, I don't know, this like thing that's going on with like our phones and stuff, you know, like connecting humans and, you know, your phones and even your brain.
This is the hexagonal lattice of carbon atoms called graphene. It's single atom thick, but stronger than steel. It conducts electricity and heat efficiently and has been slowly realizing its potential as a game changer. Kostya Novoselov, who won the
key words, slowly realizing its potential.
I think even like 10 years ago, I heard a joke and it was graphene can do anything except leave the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Patella says, oh yeah, because graphene has 5G receptors built in.
Nobel Prize for his work on graphene.
And it's stronger than steel by weight.
No.
But you don't get graphene in these huge chunks like you can steel. You get, it's thin sheets. It's thin sheets.
Says one great application.
So if you could produce like graphene in like large quantities, like let's say there was a crazy materials science revolution and like they could make a steel cable that's all made out of graphene, it would be stronger than comparable steel.
Mm-hmm.
By like a factor of what? Do you happen to know? I'm gonna look it up. Okay, I'm gonna play the video while you look it up.
Is in communications.
200 times stronger than steel by weight.
Wow. That's pretty good.
It also conducts electricity better than any known material at room temp.
Cool.
Graphene is completely transparent and can transmit information via optical circuits incredibly quickly and efficiently.
It just allows you to push the signal processing into the optical domains, and honestly, I don't think any other material apart from graphene can do the same, can change its optical state at the same pace. So I think that's probably one of the most exciting and at the same time realistic applications.
Lightweight graphene can be easily incorporated into everything from shoes to clothing to cars, and that will make them strong, flexible, and smart.
That's a cool idea.
And its ability to move information quickly is going to be part of what makes the super-fast 5G networks that are coming soon possible.
We started to see it first in composite material applications, in sport goods. Now it goes into a...
To be someone like Call
Yeah.
and to hear something that, like, obviously Call has heard from somewhere, someone around the water cooler or wherever he works, oh, there's graphene in the vaccine. And then he sees something like this, and graphene is connected to 5G, and he just spirals. And that's really, really sad. It must be so hard, because things talk about stuff like that all the time. Like, things connect, and, like, all the time. It's just so sad. I can't even imagine it.
Now we already start to see it being used for electronics, for printed electronics, and I think it just develops with a very good pace for a new material.
Graphene is also making more efficient solar panels possible, and it's making smart electronics smarter and faster. But graphene might even soon be making people better.
I think we will see more interesting applications, like applications in biotechnology, maybe in membrane technology. So those are quite exciting, but they need a little bit more time to mature.
Novoselov says graphene circuits are so sensitive, an atom-thin probe can read and map brain activity and send that information to doctors or a phone in case of medical emergency.
Hey, Cole, did you notice how even in this sci-fi illustration, it's a giant rig with physical, like, wires connecting things? And not, I don't know,
a vaccine.
A shot?
Also, everybody listen to Bellstar in the comment section. He's, you know, saying some good shit about the graphene stuff. Definitely has more of an idea about it than I do as a genetics person.
Send that information to doctors or a phone in case of medical emergency.
Boy, that was really interesting, right? Because that's exactly what we all need. We want to be connected to our phones, connected...
Call, I know you don't want that, and that's fine. Let me be clear. If this technology or something similar ever came out and you don't want that, that's fine. I don't care what you do. I don't really care what anyone does as long as they're not endangering the public in doing so, which is why the difference with vaccines is the fact that you can hurt other people, not only yourself, via your inaction. Okay? But the thing is, most people, if there were a proven technology that's like, hey, you could connect to technology in this really intuitive, cool, futuristic way, at least younger people, probably people even younger than me, honestly, would be like, fuck yeah, that's cool. Most people aren't afraid of stuff like this because they're not like neo-Luddites. It's fine.
What the hell does that mean?
I put the word neo in front of it.
I don't know what Luddite means.
Oh, a Luddite is like someone who eschews technology, who doesn't like new technology, who... You get
it. To this network, so to speak, but that's what they want, and that's what they're doing, and that is exactly why
I forgot that he had this connected to the Matrix. He thinks that they're trying to Matrix us with graphene.
Yeah.
Pushing transhumanism. This is why they've been pushing, living forever, immortality with superheroes and all that stuff. This has been what it's...
Cole, no one wants to live forever, you dumb
I do.
fuck.
That's not true. I would live forever if I could.
I would not live forever.
I would.
I think that would get so boring. There's no point.
Okay, I'll decide when to end it eventually. I could see living 1,000, 2,000 years and not getting bored. Andrew Patella says, okay, Let me be clear, though. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's possible, so I don't think it's going to happen. I'm talking theoretically.
I mean, I also don't think it's possible.
Sure.
Like, just knowing what I know about genetics,
Yeah.
Genetic mutations are inevitable. Cancer is kind of inevitable if you live long enough. That's just how cells die.
Andrew Patella says, okay, let's make this crystal clear so even brain-dead conspiracy theorists can get it. Graphene itself has nothing to do with 5G or brain reading. It's an electrical connectivity that allows all of those things and that requires receivers and so on, which aren't microscopic. Ice Queen says, as near as I know, I'm immortal. I haven't died yet.
Always been about...
Baha, hey, let me explain this complicated science thing. Also, Baha, I don't know what words mean. Baha is the best. Hey, if I don't know something, I'm just gonna be straight up with it. Like, I know genetics. I have taught genetics to undergrads in college. I'm not a dictionary. I'm not Broha Blast.
I do the words. I do the words real good.
And I do the genetics real good.
Lily Lovestuff says, for me, this idea of something communicating with my doctor outside of being in the hospital makes me uncomfortable personally, but I don't think this is something nefarious. Yeah.
Out for them. And the Bible speaks of this when men in the end times, many are going to seek death and not be able to find death because they're not going to be human anymore. Because once you manipulate this certain code in your body, well, you're not. And how would they be able to do that?
Only humans can die? Is that what he's saying? Only humans can die.
The other claim I find funny, too, which I've seen some anti-vax, like, Christian nationalists make, is like, the vaccine's gonna change your DNA so much that even Jesus can't save you. And it's like, wow, Jesus sucks then, doesn't he?
Isn't Jesus supposed to be, like, all-powerful?
You'd think God is supposed to be all-powerful, but
okay,
genetic engineering beat him? That's crazy.
Humans, like, fucked shit up. Let's say God exists. I
Sure.
don't think that God exists.
Sure.
Let's say that he did. Jesus, whatever you want to call God, I don't care. What if we did fuck shit up for ourselves? Like, you know, I don't want to put ideas into Call's head, but let's just say we make a mistake and something happens and it turns our blood green somehow. I don't know. That's what it is. It turns all the humans' blood green. Couldn't God just snap his fingers and, like, fix it? Like, that's what they think, right?
Yeah.
Then what does it matter?
I don't know.
Also, someone asked if I had my own channel. I do not.
Colston says, just imagine how much knowledge and wisdom you could gain living thousands of years. Also think of all the people you could help. Amazing.
You have to be able to get something inside.
Oh, Ice Queen says we interbreed with Vulcans and Romulans?
Yes.
I couldn't think of what in the world they could possibly be trying to get inside people right now so desperately. But that would be the neat thing, right? And then let's finish it here with the World Economic Forum. Because this is the do-all, end-all, right? The World Economic Forum, I showed you the clips
exhausting.
with the next wave.
Like he ties himself into knots, saying things. Like, didn't the last video that you watched of him, didn't he say something like, well, I don't care what you do in your own home, blah, 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 blah. And now he's talking like, oh, well, you're gonna die and you're gonna get blah, blah, blah. Like, just...
If you're the fourth industrial revolution, what they want and how they want technology inside the body mixed with humans. Well, this is them talking about 5G.
The first thing about 5G is it's an opportunity for transformation.
These technologies will form the...
I like that Call also looks at, like, basically advertisements.
Yeah.
Like, this is an advertisement for some company that does 5G shit. Yep. And he's like, oh my god! And it's like, Call... First of all, I have 5G on my phone. It works faster than 4G. But, like, it's a marginal improvement, if I'm being honest, and the towers aren't even everywhere, so I don't have 5G all the time.
I have 5G in my arm.
This is an ad. She's joking, Call,
Yeah,
for the
so
record.
it was a joke.
I know you're incapable of detecting sarcasm. 5G is not fucking magic, Call. It's just updated cell phone towers with a shorter range, but quicker reaction time. Raycheology says, this is for a call for butt stuff. Don't worry, it's safe for work, and you can only play a few seconds.
And you only need
quickly shouldering it because it doesn't lend itself to normal use anymore with this massively swollen butt, if I can use that expression on the internet. I'm sure I can.
Andrew Matella says, humans can't possibly affect the Earth's climate, but God gave the Earth to us, and he'll prevent any fuck-up that we make. But also, the vaccine will prevent Jesus from saving you. It's almost like they have no consistency. It's crazy. Speedy Yoshi says, the whole do humans not die reminds me of, will my dog Pepper be in heaven? No, because heaven is for people. Will there be caveman in heaven? Certainly not. Ma'am, what if you're a really, really good person and you've been in a really, really bad fight and your leg gets gangrene and it has to be amputated? Will it be waiting for you in heaven? For the last time, Bart, yes. Andrew Patella says, I have NFC on my arm, though. It's a glucose sensor that connects to your phone. Cool.
The world of the future. We cannot afford to be written out of that future.
You have to. Yet?
Probably.
That'd be cool. I
Keep
wear
in mind
5G on my arm.
more or less everything will change.
We as an industry classify 5G as better speeds, lower latency, and the ability to connect.
He gets so enraptured by advertisements that he thinks that they're real.
Yeah.
Like, people are hyping this up because they're selling it, you weirdo.
It's the same thing he did with the Elon Musk robot, and he took it seriously, even though that's complete bullshit. Like, he's scared he's scared.
To decipher fact from fiction. Like the same thing with that scientist guy that was like, I could imagine this being in people's arms. That doesn't mean that it could happen anytime soon or at all. It's just a hypothesis of where could this technology take us? Keep giving me funding, because look at what this technology could possibly do someday. It's exhausting. Even thinking, call for a moment is exhausting, and I can't imagine this poor guy. I hope that he gets 9 hours of sleep every night, because he must be so tired. I feel so bad. Get some sleep, please. Please, make sure you're getting 9 hours of sleep.
A very large number of devices that are suited for very high-end applications.
Some of the applications that are likely to come from 5G, autonomous driving, developments in the healthcare area, smart cities, manufacturing, energy.
The 4G technology is connecting people. The 5G technology will be connecting objects.
When we talk about
Dirt Jur says advertise 5G by showing capabilities of 10G.
Global connectivity, the relevant measure would be the number of connected devices. If there's roughly 20 billion connected devices today, it's projected globally there will be 50 billion connected devices by the year 2030 alone.
In order to be able to handle all of this traffic, you require a network that is much more flexible, and that's what 5G will bring.
I kind of assumed we'd be on 6G at minimum by 2030.
It will be machines talking to machines, IoT or Internet of Things.
In manufacturing, for example, you can monitor much better all of the machinery that is part of the manufacturing process, as well as the logistics.
You can start to predict and anticipate where the defects will happen. And as a result, you can improve the efficiency that can translate into billions of dollars of savings for the industry.
Just imagine a new scenario where everything is connected. Do we need traffic lights? We don't need traffic lights. You just speak and say, I'm going home. The network knows where your home is. The network knows where all the cars and the traffic is.
The result of that ends up being reduced energy consumption.
I don't feel bad. Fuck Call. Call's a piece of shit.
No, I know, but if it was me, just thinking about how,
He must be stressed out all the time
Yeah.
due to his own paranoia.
I'm
it's
sorry,
super
I
weird.
have too much empathy. I just thinking about how I would feel if this was me.
Yeah.
Constantly thinking that everything's out to get me, and that would be scary.
Yeah.
And I genuinely feel bad.
And reduce carbon footprint.
For the record, I think this is an advertisement based on what it is. Probably an advertisement for some firm to potentially get investors for their technology.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like.
For many years, environmental policy relied on educated guesses and hunches. There wasn't really a very strong evidence base. And so this is where I think technology can help us far outpace what we've been doing in the past.
What 5G will open up is this instrumentation and transportation of data that could really take...
Dirt Jur says, I used to be like, Call, it's a living hell. What got you out of that, if you don't mind me asking? Just because I see a lot of people like Call on this channel, and I don't see any way to pull them back from this kind of stuff. They're just so paranoid, and their beliefs are unfalsifiable because they're more, like, faith-based beliefs than evidence-based, you know? It's not like you can show them evidence they're wrong, because if that's what it took, they wouldn't believe those things in the first place.
You can't reason someone out of something that they weren't reasoned into.
healthcare to a completely new level. Right now, if someone's having a heart attack, there's no way of sensing that. 5G and beyond will allow the early detection well before you even feel the symptoms.
5G is going to underpin the digital economy in many countries. And that's why it's really important that we get these enabling conditions right.
But I think we have a behavioural issue that we need to address. We spend a lot of time engaged with our devices to the extent that we're looking at how do we actually make people look up when they cross the road.
5G's interesting in that it's faster, but it has a much shorter range. So if that trend continues, I'm curious if at any point by like 6G or 7G, they're gonna just start, if you have like a cell phone, having you either pay or paying you, or it's just like part of the service to put 5, 6, 7G towers like on your house, and everyone has them on their houses. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To spread coverage for everyone.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Speedy Yoshi says you only have to play a few seconds. Call be like.
They changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
Dirt Jur says working for a gay boss and being around his friends, humanizing them, took me on a leftist spiral, and now here I am. Well, I'm glad.
Good for you.
Lily Love Stuff says, you wouldn't be able to handle my job, Baha. I deal with people consistently convinced everyone was out to get them, but I also have to make people paranoid enough to not cancel their service. Oh god, what? Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
There's one thing about being a smart city. The other challenge is, do you use this technology well? Does it make us happy?
Because Call uses online transactions, do I think he's a grifter or a believer? I think he's a believer. If you asked him about it, he'd probably just say, well, I have to use the system to bring down the system, or some justification like that.
It's weird. I flip-flop depending on the video whether or not I think Call is a grifter or someone that actually believes, because some videos it seems like he's just saying things because he thinks that that's what his audience wants to hear, and then sometimes, like this video, it seems like he genuinely believes.
I think he genuinely believes. I know, like, sociopaths exist and stuff, but I cannot imagine if Call knew this was all a grift and this is fake and it was all just for show so he can scam vulnerable conspiracy people on the internet in order to make money, then I don't know how he would live with himself. Helping make people more paranoid who are already vulnerable, I don't know how he would sleep. Genuinely. Cool Sage says, everyone knows that the first thing a super secret cabal would do is make glitzy promotional videos detailing their plans.
Happier people, do we...
Unironically, they think that's part of how it works. They think for their Satan magic to work, they have to, as part of the spell, tell people what they're doing. That's how they justify stuff like this.
Use the city in a better way.
We need to focus on not just the near-term economic benefit for the corporate world, but the societal benefit that 5G will bring.
If you put a VR lab in a school, the students can explore the pyramids of Egypt or even the solar system. But on the continent, there are challenges with even basic internet access today.
A lot of infrastructure in countries is built by governments in order to attract corporate investment. So governments need to decide what are the infrastructure elements they should be encouraging investment in.
Yeah,
5G gives us between the rich and...
Oh, it was from the World Economic Forum.
It did say that at the beginning.
Okay, I missed that. The World Economic Forum is actually kind of fucking garbage.
Now you could piece all of those things
Cool concept photo for the graphene and DNA.
Yeah.
together, and you see where this is going. Do you understand why this is needed to be in people while you see towers and
call? There's no graphene in the vaccines.
All these wonderful things going on because we all need faster download speeds so we can download videos quicker and listen to music faster without, that dreaded wheel popping up when the connection isn't strong enough. No, it's not about that. It's always
If we didn't have internet connection, you wouldn't be making any money.
been about connecting humans with this network. And 6G is on the cusp. And 2030 is right around the corner. It's all happening right now. So I hope by me showing you these things, you're able to piece it together and have an understanding of what.
Do you think in 2030 I'll still be debunking call?
God, I hope not.
I hope so.
We'll have been married for almost a decade by 2030.
Mm-hmm. I'll invite Call to our 10-year anniversary. We'll have a party, and we'll invite Peter and Call, because clearly by then I will have made them all sane.
That would be nice.
Or they'll have driven me insane. And either way we'll be on the same page.
I won't let that happen. I'll always pull you back.
Speedy Yoshi says, Call will have not survived COVID by then. Oh, that's a sad statement that might be true.
Call, get vaccinated, please.
He's not gonna. He's not gonna.
It makes me so sad. There are all of these people that are dying, and because they think that the vaccine is poison, and Call is doing that, but I still want him to get the vaccine because I don't want him to die, even though, he wants other people to die.
Yeah.
I'm actually
But they're
getting
trying to-
emotional because it's really, really sad to me that there are people that might be influenced by these videos and not get the vaccine because of them.
Yeah. Will Peter's marriage last until 2030? I'm more wondering if the love his children have for him will last until 2030 based on his behavior.
Will the love our children have for us last by 2030?
Obviously, they're kitty cats. They'll love us forever.
To do and why it's so important to have this in you. And again, like I said early in the video, you will either reject this or you'll be mutating with it. And every time you take one of these boost jumps and put that inside of you, there's a chance of either one of those things happening. At some point, your body may flat out reject it, or your body may continue. If your immune system's strong enough, if your body is strong enough, however it's going to work inside of your body, it's either going to adapt with it and mutate with it, or it's not. And that's why it's so important for them to constantly keep doing this. And that's why we're living in a human science experiment. And we have these Dr. Frankensteins to thank, who 100 years ago, these people, they would be long gone by now. Because the people would not have put up with this stuff. Your tax money going towards CERN, going towards all of these ridiculous things.
100 years ago was the 1920s, Call. People still believed in science in the 1920s.
So that they could...
Are you thinking of, the 1600s or the 1700s?
Build this type of...
by the 1920s, burning witches was pretty in the rearview mirror. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't like CERN. I have no idea.
Technology to destroy humanity.
You left your phone over here, by the way. I don't know if you need it.
Pretty insane, right? But that's the truth of the matter. I hope you're able to figure out, and your brain was able to process this if you weren't already aware. I know a lot of you are aware already. This is just another video so that maybe you could show somebody who's not getting it, whether you showed them a video and it didn't register or not. Maybe this will. And that's why I'm going to constantly keep trying to piece things together to try to make it make sense for people out there who don't get it. I understand why people reject this because it sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but it is, unfortunately. But the movie is the actual reality we're living now. And this is what these monsters are doing to humanity. So share this with people. I thank you guys for being here. Hope to see you on the website. I appreciate all of you greatly. God bless you and your families.
Oh, he left the picture on too long. He has been doing a real bad job editing lately. Like, that end of the audio clip is where he was supposed to snip this picture off at, but he accidentally kept it going for the length of the picture. Jubinator, thanks for 9 months, says, oh shit, I had a baby. This baby's name is A Call for Graphene. Lily Love Stuff says, does someone want to explain to Call how mutations work? And even if he never gets a vaccine, he'll still develop mutations? I don't think he'll listen. I don't know. So that's what Call's up to. Being Call. Oh my god, he uploaded another video while we were watching that.
If you've ever had
What's he talking about in this one?
The journal reports the personal information would be kept on the user's device and not sent to the companies. Both research projects are still.
Phone tells you that you're depressed and you need to be on antidepressants, or your phone tells you that you're having mental health issues and they send someone to your home to come pick you up and take you to a padded room.
Oh boy, some projection is happening. That XY girl says, speaking of CERN, there's a fun time travel anime. I'm sorry, but CERN is the conspiracy enemy in it, and my brain is anime mush.
Probably say, I mean, I could already see they said it's an algorithm, right? I'm sure the algorithm will have smiles in this world anyway, which let wearers.
Call. I wish Call would stop.
Turn themselves, their little rally, into like a friggin' dance party in the streets, right? But you know, that's what we need to see. We need to see the sway of momentum of people being
this type of thing, you know. And
another one of those channels cranking out bullshit content for Q people. Let's take a look at some. It's part 3. This is part 1. Part 2. Where's part 1? For some reason, part 1 doesn't appear to be on here. But, no, here's part 1. It was just in the wrong order. So you guys know about Moorish citizens, right? Moorish citizens, for those who don't know, are similar to sovereign citizens in the sense that they believe that the law doesn't apply to them. They believe that they don't have to follow the laws of the United States, that they are immune from anything involving courts. They don't think they need driver's licenses. They don't think they need any sort of documentation. Yes, moops. Now, the difference between sovereign citizens as them is sovereign citizens believe that based on a different set of crazy beliefs. The Moors' set of crazy beliefs are that they're all Americans who are black, right? And they believe that because of the color of their skin, that they are immune to United States law because of their race. Because they believe that history is a lie, that the transatlantic slave trade did not happen. They believe that black people are the real indigenous population of the United States, and that the United States, prior to white people showing up, was really Morocco, and that it's been covered up. And because the United States is secretly Morocco, that means that they are in charge and they don't have to follow any laws. I know that's out there. I know. But, like, my mic stand transfers a lot of vibration from you moving or touching the table, And it makes you sound like a Hans Zimmer soundtrack in a bad way. Sorry. So anyway, they think that the law doesn't apply to them. It's not good. Let's check some of them out. This is them outside of a courthouse because they were going to a court appearance of a different Moorish citizen from their group. And the cops notice that they don't have license plates or registrations once they further investigate. They also, you'll notice, have, I forget the exact name, but if you're like a diplomat from another country, the vehicles you drive officially have those little flags on them, and that indicates to police and stuff that you are a, what's the word? You're a diplomat legally. Most of you probably heard the term diplomatic immunity. So, like, for instance, a diplomatic vehicle doesn't have to necessarily follow the same parking laws and stuff. It's basically to keep cops from giving tickets to ambassadors and stuff like that. Diplomatic plates. Yes, those are a thing. But they also have the flags on there, too. You're not supposed to really have these on your car if you're not a diplomat. But they have them. So let's check it out.
That's the law of the land.
Brother Moorish.
And that's also what...
Article 6. I got a copy of the Constitution.
Yeah, well, yeah. She's familiar with the Constitution.
Right. It's kind of oath of the Constitution.
All right. Make sure you grab the camera so that we can get that through. You know that constant notification and access requirement refers you all to all treaty obligations. That's the whole thing. So we were...
Catherine CD says, if anyone should be a sovereign citizen, it should be Native Americans, but it's never them who do this shit. That's the funny thing, is that their beliefs are wrong even if their premise was right. Like, let's imagine for a second that they were correct in that, like African-American people were the indigenous population of the United States. They're not, but for this hypothetical, pretend they are. History still would have included, based on their beliefs, Europeans coming over, taking over the country, unethically, but nonetheless doing so, setting up their own governments and imposing law on the populace. Like, real natives of this country, the law still applies to them. Now, there are specific areas that are like tribally governed, right? That is a thing. But, like, if you're a native person and you go on to, like, federal property or state property, or you're in public anywhere that isn't, you know, controlled by your tribal government, the laws apply to you. The laws still apply to you. You don't just get a pass to say, like, I get to do whatever I want. I don't need a driver's license. I don't need a registration on my car. I don't need to do this. I don't need to wear masks during COVID, etc., etc. That's not how this works. That's not how the law works. I'll give them this. The Moors get the best hats. I'm consistently impressed by their hats. Wait, look at that. It's got a big tassel thing on it. That's a power hat right there. What can I say? I like a good hat. Speedy Yoshi with a link to TrumpCanStillWin.com. Yeah, I looked at this link earlier. Actually, he can't. Someone posted that on a response I did to Bryson. Hydrate. I'm smacky, I know, I'm sorry. I'm gonna skip ahead until they start having a conversation. Because this is just the raw footage of the arrest. Or at least the seizure of the vehicles. I know the cops in this seize the vehicles because they're unregistered and don't have license plates, you know. Can't hear him over there, can't hear him over there. He's showing them their paperwork that's absolute dog shit and means nothing. Might have to skip to the second part if they don't get closer to hear what he's saying. Alright, I'm skipping to part 2. Oh, there we go. Much closer. That's better.
Conveyance, not her motor vehicle. This is a conveyance.
Oh, he starts right off trying to say the car isn't a car.
Under color of law. Right? We're going to challenge the court's jurisdiction.
Daddy Sume says, call the lawyer. Hopefully I'll get a response tomorrow. Good.
Absolutely. And they're going to dismiss it for
Does
lack
anyone
of jurisdiction like all
in
of
your
the other
party
cases.
or anyone that you're with here have a license?
Resolve this to avoid lawsuits.
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Okay.
They're not in my party or hall.
To the Commonwealth Constitution.
Standing as individuals.
For the United States of North Carolina.
You interpret that document to mean that this is a vessel. I interpret that document based on being a maritime major, that related to the ports of call when the Moroccan government decided to do international travel.
Oh, they're trying to use the treaty. Daddy Sumes has also sent a message to the CDC. Nice. Okay, so there was one of, if not the first treaty to be signed by the United States after its founding. This is actually interesting, historically speaking. Was a treaty of cooperation and friendship, something along those lines, between the United States and Morocco, the real Morocco that is in the northwest of Africa. There were trade relations between Morocco and the United States as part of, you know, the transatlantic trade. And they signed a treaty that basically allowed... It set forth, A, that Morocco recognized the United States as an independent nation. It was one of the first countries to do so, which is interesting. And also set forth their rules in terms of foreign ships in each other's ports. So it basically set out rules for if there's a Moroccan ship in a United States port, how are we treating that? How are we treating the law? If someone from Morocco is in the United States and commits some sort of crime, how do we deal with that? If someone in the United States is in Morocco and commits a crime, how do we deal with that? Typical treaty stuff, you know? One of the first treaties, if not the first treaty, the United States signed with a foreign power. So interesting. However, more citizens, because they believe the United States was Morocco, even though there is a real Morocco, they don't recognize real Morocco as Morocco. They only recognize the United States as Morocco. They believe this treaty is between the United States and the indigenous Moorish population, which isn't the case. So, they use this treaty whenever they're getting arrested or whatever. They tend to, like, post this, you know? Or not post this. God, I'm so terminally online. They tend to show this, you know, like in real life, to the cops or whatever. And they're like, according to this treaty, the law does not apply to me. And of course, that's not what it says in any way, shape, or form. Nick says, Morocco Mole is more real than the treaty.
Because they wanted to make sure that any time they pulled into port...
Maybe it was just that Morocco was one of the first nations to recognize the United States as an independent country, and it wasn't the first treaty? I'd have to look into it further. I know it was one or the other, though.
They would not be violated, and they would be able to...
Are you referring to the Kingdom of Morocco, which was founded in 1956? Because this treaty is 1836. This is the empire.
Signed by the Emperor of Morocco.
treaty of peace and friendship between the United States of North America and the Empire of Morocco. The kingdom is subordinate to the empire.
It's funny too, because the woman who's the police officer here, or sheriff maybe, I don't know the uniform. She briefly earlier mentioned that it sounded like she was in the military or some branch of the military. I don't know what. Something involving the ocean. Because she mentioned that, and she was like, based on my reading of this, and she's trying to explain to them that's not what this says, because I would presume she is vaguely familiar with you know, how stuff like this would work if she's either in like the Navy or Marines or Coast Guard. I don't know, because you need to vaguely, I'd imagine, know how to deal with foreign ships in United States water. I don't know.
Yeah, this is why they call New York the Empire.
Why do the cops even entertain this nonsense? I'd rather they entertain it and overcorrect towards patients than correct the other way, which is how cops normally act in the United States. I don't have any issue with these cops dealing with this nonsense. That's fine.
State. That's where the emperor sat.
At least they're hearing these people out. They're wrong. Of course they're wrong. But I'd rather they be hearing them out than tasing them or doing some other dumb use of force shit.
A lot of people don't know that history. Your higher-ups may do. It doesn't matter. Law doesn't change.
Okay, that's your interpretation of the treaty.
They're not talking about.
You're gonna break my
Yeah, it's a
hatch.
motor, and also we still have
And
stuff.
plus,
in here.
I need.
Is that a white guy that's part of the Moorish group? No, because he's got like that's a sheriff's uniform. Did he grab one of the hats and put it on? Because that's hilarious. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen a police officer do, if that's a police officer. Also, yes, the guy said law doesn't change, and law definitely changes, and treaties do change.
Okay, but
That's not an officer? Yeah, completely different uniforms. So is that just a white guy who's a Moorish citizen? That doesn't even make sense.
it's one in the front. It's one in the front. It's one in the front. Don't know how to operate it, just ask.
Yeah, so a lot of police departments and sheriff departments, not most, but a lot, get it confused when they think Morocco, they think over there in this northwestern continent of Africa. No, Morocco's here and it extends over there. That's an empire, all right? I'm not trying to give you a history lesson. I'm just saying that when you read this treaty without the understanding of the
Fast
history
Lunacy
of it,
says, Fallout
like
voice,
when our
law
forefathers
never
allowed you, your
changes.
forefathers, to do business on this land, and it was sanctioned a Republican form of government, not the state of Massachusetts, but the Massachusetts Commonwealth Republic. That was the sanction and form.
The state of Massachusetts and the federal government are a, quote, Republican form of government. A Republican form of government just means a government that functions as a republic. We are. The United States is a representative democratic republic.
Form of government under Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States of North America. For you all to come within our dominions because you broke off from King George of Great Britain, who was enslaving the colonies. Okay. So you all came under the jurisdiction in 1787. From 1784 to 1787, under the Emperor of Morocco, not the king.
It became a U.S. in 1776. We've had enough history lessons.
No, that's
A U.S.
This land is never U.S.
Okay.
That's birthright. You're trying to steal our birthright by saying this.
I'm not trying to steal anything, sir. I really am.
Yeah, I'm just saying
not.
that when you say that,
I'm telling you
this
right
land is
now.
not.
I'm telling you right now. Okay. That this is.
I just noticed, is he wearing a bulletproof vest? That's weird.
The United States of America.
The land?
This is the United States of America. Its borders are the United States of America and North
It is
America.
not.
Absolutely.
Okay. America.
We're indigenous aboriginal.
Okay, absolutely. Okay.
Well, I don't want to disrespect. Who's the superior? I'm just saying.
Lily Love Stuff says, Moorish citizens and hoteps drive me up a wall. I don't know what the hotep thing is. They want to hyper-focus on black identity, but they are obsessed with hyper-focusing on Saharan Africa and not talk about the vibrancy of sub-Saharan Africa. It just plays into white supremacy. Interesting.
Really
That's
trying to not.
disrespectful to us.
I'm
To say
not.
that this is the United States of America. No, the
Are
jurisdiction.
you saying that this is not the United States of America?
Absolutely.
Tactical vest might not be armor. Still, weird to wear into a courthouse.
This is Morocco. We're indigenous, all of us. Look at it. We look just like the land.
Interjection.
Indigenous and Aboriginal.
Okay, so now
That's
this
an insult
becomes,
to us.
and no insult to his men, okay? I'm letting you know right now, I work for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, okay? Who we are within its borders, as far as I know. Your claim to this being part of the Moroccan Empire, I guess, will be settled in U.S. Supreme Court.
No, absolutely.
Supreme Court, no.
It's being
I'm not
settled
going
here.
to settle it.
I know. It's being settled here. I'm going to settle it. It's being settled here.
You're gonna. That's not how this works.
And it's also being settled in other cases. We just showed you. That's stare decisis. It's already been decided.
You showed me affidavits, sir.
I showed you orders.
No.
No, they were bonded by affidavit. I showed you.
What do you mean they were bonded by affidavits?
Orders.
Affidavits are just legal sworn testimony in written form. It is someone saying something under oath and having it written down and they sign it. Ice Queen says he's a judge, she's fucked? Question mark.
Requested the order in the affidavit. All right.
You showed me where the request
Okay.
is? No.
Hang on 1 second. I respect it.
So he has affidavits that he has written to file with the court, which is, I'm assuming, at least part of the reason he's here. And he believes because he has these affidavits ready to file, that means that everything he claims legally within these affidavits are somehow true, and the court will automatically hold them up as true, even though that's not how this works.
I'm trying. Let's get this over with. We have the information.
No. This is order.
Who is it signed by?
By me.
Okay.
Look, no.
He is the consul general.
Consul General
Let me.
Judicial Officer.
Okay.
He's the consul general. You're fucked.
Do you have a barcode? No.
Why do you need a barcode? What do you need a barcode for?
That's the British.
A barcode would be to show that you've passed the bar and that you're a lawyer.
Accreditation registry?
No, yeah,
No.
Bar card.
We don't need that. That's a
I think they said a bar. I think this person said a barcode isn't a number to put it in.
She said a bar card.
Oh, did she? Wait, you don't have a headphone.
I'm listening with my own headphones.
Oh, gotcha.
British accreditation registry.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't practice.
A bar card then to show that you are have passed the bar and that you are a lawyer.
Well, I only enforce the laws, the statutes, and the case law that is issued by the courts of Commonwealth and the legislative branch. That's where my jurisdiction.
That's legislation. You can't legislate our rights.
And no, I said in the cases and the cases implemented by our judiciary and the legislation.
So
and any executive.
You know what case law is used for? To settle. So if it's already been decided in one case.
Right, but that's used in a court of law. We're not in a court of law right now. We're out here in the back parking lot.
You don't have courts.
Okay.
They're in the parking lot of a court, and she's saying we don't have courts.
We need to talk, all right? Thank you.
That's grand theft.
They're trying to do the same
I do not have a card on me, but I am in charge of the State Police Barracks in Medford, right here, right across the street. Yep. Yep.
You got a card over there?
I do. Yeah. I do. If you come in after this whole thing is over, I'll give you a card.
And once this thing is over, because you already do a traffic case, right? You already issued her a ticket?
There'll be a summons for her to appear. Yeah.
She's going to appear right. You know, and she will do a special appearance. Nah, I ain't going to tell you all that. Okay.
Magen Depression says, I've seen someone carded at a bar before, but never a bar carded.
Well, we got enough fun. That's grand theft.
Guys, I don't need to know every time Peter goes live. Every time Peter goes on Twitch, everyone's like, oh my god, I know! I follow him! I don't need everyone to say that! It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If he has anything interesting to say, I'll cover it on a different stream.
Any more ways to come over there, man?
I would never raid Peter because that would be considered brigading, and I'm not an idiot.
This is what they intended to do.
Ma'am, do you have everything that you need?
No, I mean, I now have to figure out where I'm going to put it. So now that you are trying to tell someone else,
You can secure it in the vehicle, and it'll stay, the inventory, it'll stay in the tow yard.
but I don't want you to eat my food, and I don't want it to spoil. So yeah, but I'd like to eat it.
They're
and
not
I'm
gonna
pretty
eat your
sure
food.
It's gonna be
How
some.
you then I would take my food?
Well, I'm trying to take everything I need.
Ross, what's up?
I mean,
I'm
we're,
looking at a little bit of
I know.
discussion
But
here.
she's saying that our...
So that's part 2.
I'll tell you all that. We'll say it in writing.
This one's also unlistenable. Let's see if the last part is. Well, either way, I believe they impounded the vehicles, so that's interesting. Yeah, the Moorish citizen thing is weird. I don't want to say it's more so than the sovereign citizen stuff, because they're both weird, but it's based on more false premises to get to the same conclusion, which I find interesting. Like, the sovereign citizen stuff is basically based on their belief that the government is fraudulent, the government is a corporation, these are not true, and that the law doesn't apply to them. Moorish sovereign citizens have to construct this whole false history of the United States in order for their beliefs to get to the same exact point. It's interesting. I had one more video prepared. Let's listen and see if it's anything good. This is not someone I've ever watched before, so...
Hey guys, so I want to talk to you quickly about a recent video I saw of Tony Hawk saying he sold his soul. And again, this video might seem like a joke, and it might have been a joke to him, but I want to show you a more serious point in this. It might be graphic for you if you're like squeamish with needles, because it shows him getting a shot and getting blood drawn. So again, warning, if you're squeamish or you don't want to see needles going into someone's arm, then click off right now, because it's about to show a needle going into his arm. But
what's TOS in terms of watching someone have blood drawn? I know you're not allowed to, like, see someone get in a fight and be bloody. But in the context of a medical thing, is that fine? I don't know. That's iffy. I'm gonna take it off the screen during that part, just in case.
I want to show you this because Satan is just out in the open now. He's not hiding. Just watch this video. Check this out.
Hey, what's up? I'm Tony Hawk, and I recently became an ambassador for Liquid Death Mountain Water. Apparently, I didn't read the fine print, and now Liquid Death officially owns my soul. And my blood, too? I don't know. It's very confusing.
Yeah, I think this was an ad. They were doing a special promotion of, like, selling skateboards with Tony Hawk's blood as the paint or something. Of course, a little bit of blood in each bit of paint. A little bit like the Lil Nas X shoes thing. I probably stole the idea right from that. And of course, these people are freaking out about it because they think everything is Satanism. Nick says, I just love how the bitch part is the only part of BitChute logo on the screen. Is it? I didn't even notice.
Confusing. They're taking my blood, and we're going to use it for skateboard graphics. So they're going to mix my blood into the paint and do a limited run of skateboards using my real...
Yeah, it's like a little bit of blood, like this much blood in a giant thing of paint.
blood in the graphics. But some of the profits will go towards killing plastic pollution and to...
Alright, the blood draw part's over. I can probably put that back on screen now.
Building skate parks in underserved communities. Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
I guess go to liquiddeath.com to get skateboards with my blood in it. So wait, if you have my blood, that means you have my DNA.
Get the Liquid Death skateboard infused with 100% real Tony Hawk today. Wow, you can own your very own piece of Birdman, but hurry, supply...
How do these people not understand the clear tongue-in-cheek nature of all of these? Like, it could not be more obvious that this is a joke. I don't...
Alright, so that just happened. I'm telling you guys, this is so crazy how as of recent, these celebrities are putting their blood in products. So you have blood and Tony Hawk's new skateboards. If you don't know who Tony Hawk is, he's like the legend of skateboarding, the face of skateboarding. We played the games as a kid. He's like literally the face of skateboarding. If you ask anyone who's the most legendary skateboarder, Tony Hawk would be the guy. And then you have Lil Nas putting blood in Nikes. You have Tony Hawk putting blood. You have Converse with their new demonic pentagram shoes. And I'm just going like, what in the world is going on? Let me tell you what's going on.
What's going on is the Lil Nas X shoes did that. By the way, the company that made those shoes, Nike didn't make those, for those who don't know. They bought Nike shoes and modified them, and then got sued by Nike because they were using their branding in their ads. Surprise. But they do all sorts of things, like they made shoes with holy water in them too, but you don't cover that because it goes against your narrative. Anyway, all the right-wing people go crazy about the Lil Nas X blood shoes thing. So then other companies saw that outrage as free marketing. So then they're doing similar edgy shit like the Tony Hawk skateboard thing, which at least is for a good cause, so I can appreciate that. And the Converse thing, which is just literally an ad. Again, it works as a marketing technique because you people are crazy, and anytime anything smells even a little Satan-y, even tongue-in-cheek, you freak out and clutch your pearls. Daddy Sume says, bullshit, it's Bam Margera. Not anymore.
Satan is making all of this stuff seem normal. He's making all of this darkness, the satanic stuff. I don't know if you saw that European news station or Australian news station that accidentally clipped to a satanic church service. And so he's putting himself out there. He's up in the open. He's making himself known, and he's making this stuff seem innocent to our children. They're making it seem like not a big deal. Now, the brand he's working with, Liquid Death.
Hold on. Chris Pratt did some Instagram.
Mario. That's not the voice. It's a me, a Mario. That's not the voice. You'll have to wait to hear the voice, but we've been working hard at it, and I'm really excited to announce that I'm going to be the voice of that video game that I dreamed about playing as a kid. Dreams come true. It's a me, a Mario. That's not... It's a me, a Mario.
Just do that voice. Just do that voice the whole movie, and I'll be happy. That's so fucking funny. It's a me, Mario. Fast Lunacy says, blood in some medium has been done so many times. It's been done for comics, shoes, posters. I think someone has even incorporated a person's ashes before. Mike says, coming from the religion that drinks its savior's blood, right? Killjoy says, Mario sounds like he's given up on life. Good for Mario.
Here's an interesting thing. They're like so popular right now, they can't even keep water on the shelves. They sell water. They sell water in a can. All of the famous podcasters, celebrities drink this water, Liquid Death. If you go to the website to buy the water, there's literally a tab that says sell your soul. And it'll say on there, make a contract for eternity, sell your soul, Liquid Death. And this seems so...
Ice Queen says, raise his hand. Hi, Ice Queen, political activist. Satan is not real. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Sell your soul. One free Liquid Death tea with your first water oil order. Oh, it's a mailing list. I was gonna sell my soul as a joke, but I don't want to be on their mailing list for their canned water.
So innocent. People watching this are gonna be like, this is so dumb and innocent. It's not that big of a...
It is. It's a marketing thing. It's entirely marketing, and you're giving them more free marketing. You idiot. You're the reason they're doing this!
Deal, but you have to understand that this is all part of the end time strategy of Satan. To make all of this seem innocent, putting your blood. The Bible says life is in the blood. And now they're saying, oh, it's no big deal. If you know anything about witchcraft, you know that they use blood and sacrifice.
Witchcraft isn't real. Magic isn't real.
Sacrifices in occult rituals and all this type of stuff. They drink blood. They use blood in spells. So this is not a joke, not a game. People think it's funny to say I sold my soul. Now let me say something. First of all, you can't sell your soul to Satan because you don't own your soul, and Satan doesn't own your soul. God owns your soul. But you can forfeit your
That's fucked up.
soul. Matthew 6:26 says, what good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?
That's untrue. I sold my soul to Satan back in like 2012, and my wish was to become a mediocre internet personality. And that worked out. Kind of.
Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? And you have all these people selling out for money, for popularity. And to Tony Hawk, it might seem funny, but it's not going to be funny on Judgment Day when you forfeit your soul for wealth, for this, for money, for fame, for popularity. It's not a joke, guys. Do not.
Okay, but like you can believe that, but I don't. That's fine. You can believe that. I don't. Mike Max says, Satan, why are they blaming for this shit? I'm imprisoned. Don't these people read the manual?
Not be desensitized. Be careful what your kids are listening to. Be careful what they're watching. Be careful what they're doing, because all of this stuff is just another way the enemy is going to downplay the demonic. Downplay. And he's not even hiding any longer. He's out in the open. And some of you get mad that we're always exposing him, but he's actually exposing himself right now. And so I think as the church, we need to start canceling this stuff. We need to start standing up. And someone...
Wait, I thought you guys said cancel culture was bad.
Needs to get angry about this. Someone needs to say, not on my watch. I'm not okay with this. I'm not going to tolerate this. This is completely demonic, and we say no to this. And I was thinking just the other day, like, what are we doing in our lives that's going to matter in eternity? What are you going to take into the next world? This world is not your home. We're all going to stand before God on Judgment Day and be accountable. So don't sell your soul. Don't forfeit your soul according to Scripture for the things of this world. What does it gain a man to gain the world but lose his soul?
Souls aren't real.
This is what really matters. So I want to really just make you guys think here. And man, I'm just so disgusted by what's going on in this world. Like the fact that this water company can't stay on the shelves and they're promoting selling your soul. They're making a joke out of it. And if you go to their website,
they're promoting you signing up to their mailing list. It's a joke to sign up for their mailing list. Nick says, that's it. I'm turning my soul into an NFT.
It's obviously clear they're making a joke out of it. But that's the point. The devil wants to make a joke out of the stuff. He wants to make it seem like it's not a big deal and it's all part of desensitizing you.
I can't imagine being a real adult person and believing in Satan. That's just wild to me. Being an adult person who pays bills and, like, lives their life and being like, also, Satan, real person, real demon, angel, fallen angel that's real and does magic. I believe in that.
You're telling me you don't believe in Santa Claus?
Unfortunately, no. Santa never gave me the gift I wanted on Christmas, and that's to wake up as a woman. That got sad, didn't it?
Yeah. It's okay, your driver's license says female now.
Yeah, true.
You for these last days, desensitizing you for the enemy's agenda and for his plan. He absolutely wants you to forfeit your soul. He absolutely wants you to give up his soul. So I'm just like disgusted by this. I think we need to keep exposing the works of darkness. We need to keep blowing the trumpet. We need to make a fuss. Go up on these video. Get up in the comment section of this video. I did. And just say, this is disgusting. We don't support this. Dislike the video. Don't support this liquid death water.
Look up GOP Jesus. I assume it's a white guy. Is it a video? Is it...
Truly I say unto you.
Is it this? Mike Max with a link. Oh yeah, Bart sells his soul. I don't want to play a clip to that though. That XY girl says, I believe in the allegory of Satan, Ave Satanis.
Water. If you're watching podcasters that are drinking this on their show, which most of them now are sponsored and are, stop listening, supporting darkness. This is a demonic agenda. It's only going to get worse. We need to have ears to hear, eyes to see. We need to be sober because the devil is prowling, looking for someone to devour. I hope this video helped you to some extent, because I just thought I would get on here and share this because I can't stand this happening. We need to speak out against these celebrities, and we need to stop being soft as pastors and leaders and being afraid to speak up on what's going on with culture. I refuse to be okay with this. I refuse to bow down. I'm going to be like a Shadrach, a Meshach, and Abednego. I'm going to be like a Daniel and say I'm not bowing down to this culture.
For those who don't know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were 3 biblical characters. And Nebuchadnezzar made everyone convert to worshiping him. I think he built like a big statue of himself and made everyone worship it. And they were 3 believers. Oh God, was this Old Testament or New Testament? I don't remember. But they refused, and they wanted to worship Yahweh, the God of the Bible and the Old Testament. And so he threw them in a furnace to burn to death, but God protected them and they didn't burn. That's that story.
I'm not bowing down to my watch. Come on, guys, let's be the remnant that God is raising up. If this video blessed you, comment down below. What do you think about this? This guy's an OG skateboard legend, and here he is, no big deal, putting his blood in skateboard. You know, Little Nas putting blood in Nikes. It's disgusting. It's getting worse. Share this video with someone. Let's just blow the trumpet here. Hope this helped.
What a crazy person. Oh, look, another oh, I already added them. Good. For GOP Jesus. This is just going to be depressing. I don't even think I want to watch this. It's just going to be GOP talking points coming from Jesus.
Whoever welcomes one of these little ones in my name might be letting in a murderer or a drug.
Nah, I'm good. That's just gonna depress me. Yeah, I see there's a trailer for the Destroy All Humans 2 remake. I'm excited for that. The first remake was really good. I need to mute the trailer? What?
Greetings, comrade. Mother Russia sends her regards. Mine's
It's all a haze, man. There was this little green dude, and he had this, like, big gun and a jetpack, and he really showed the man who's boss. He tossed the fuzz around, and boom! Called himself Crypto, I think? And then he put on those groovy glasses, and suddenly it was all colors. And I just wanted to dance, man. Like, couldn't have stopped if I wanted to. Mind control.
Is it weird that you want to fuck that alien? A little.
Mind control, I always told ya. And then I wake up, look up, and there he is in his flying saucer, burning whole buildings like they're just marshmallows, man! Far out, man. Really far out.
Soon the citizens of Bay City will be embarking on a very bad trip.
Make war, not love. Oh, wait. Is that right?
You wouldn't fuck an alien? Probably not. Oh, he's reading the email I sent him earlier.
Just a tool to confuse the deep state into lowering their guard.
Oh, really? On stream?
Mm-hmm. You know, the funny thing is, too, I considered it earlier. I was like, should I read the emails I sent to Peter and his responses? And I decided, no, we were having a private conversation. I'm not going to do that. But I guess he thinks that's okay, which is fine. I don't really care. I didn't say anything I wouldn't say, you know, on stream.
Deep state for months of saying this audit is not real.
Daddy Sume says, is it weird that I anything? It's weird that I do everything, isn't it? Yes. Daddy Sume says, lies, Garrus. You would do it, Hannah. Nick says, majestic 12D chess move.
I totally trust the audit 100%. And they lowered their guard. They should have never taken the bait. They should have waited. Or they should have read the whole thing. Because now, maybe they're all going to have to admit that they lied or that they knew and they didn't care. They didn't read the whole report. So I predicted this hours before I had ever seen it anywhere else. I predicted it. Like, that's how good I am at predicting politics. People have no idea how good I am at predicting politics. Like, the bigger picture here, I predicted it all right here. I have evidence 11 hours ago. All right. Hannah says, Ron Watson's lying, Peter. Please stop listening. He and his dad were literally QAnon. He's grifting you. And I say again, you're way overconfident. Okay. So I didn't read this last part, but let's read it together and laugh, okay? Oh gosh, life is great when you're righteous. Peter, please, I'm trying to help you. You become completely lost in this stuff. I've been lost in the truth, bro. I literally proved you wrong 3 times. It isn't true, any of it. You're endangering yourself and your family by buying into the anti-vax stuff connected to this nonsense. Biden won. You don't have to like him, but it's the truth. Oh. Hannah's crying right now. I feel it. Hannah's watching the stream right now. She is crying. Oh, there she is. Oh, Hannah's crying. Oh my gosh. Oh, Hannah's in the section. Oh, she's in the comment section. Oh, let's read the report, Hannah. Let's read it together. Are you ready? Let's all say it together. This is straight from the report that supposedly came out, said Biden won. Let's read it together. The election should not be certified. The results are not reliable. And the whole mainstream media article...
The reason they said the results aren't reliable is because Trump got fewer votes once they recounted.
Or more, Trump got 230 less. So there's a lot of people watching, and I know some people miss it, and I'm also speaking a little bit too fast. So let me explain what happened today, because from a 1 to 10, it was a million. This thing was freaking amazing. The 12 chess, the way that Trump tricked the opponents and then blew up this to be the best audit ever. Absolutely phenomenal. So this is what happened today. Trump knew mainstream media were going to be desperate to attack the audit. They knew, and they knew that they were going to lie about it and say the audit is fake.
He's hopeless.
The audit is fake, as they've been saying for months. They've been training everyone to say the audit is fake. But Trump wanted the mainstream media to come off as liars, or at least bad researchers. And so he really wanted that to happen on the day of around the time of the audit. So he wants to paint them bad so that when the mainstream media says, oh, the audit's fake, people will be like,
is he sped up? No, this is live.
I don't believe anymore. So
am I crying?
Them as liars
yes.
Strategy.
Clearly.
He also got Democrats running around telling all the friends.
Yeah, I know. He's doxing my email, so I'm going to be reporting the video.
It said Biden won. It's a real audit, bro. Yeah. And he says Biden won. I read the audit. Yo, I'm so smart. I'm such a good researcher. I do so much.
Not to my knowledge.
I do so much research. I read the whole report, and Peter, yo, bro, that audit said Biden won. I'm just so smart. I'm just so smart, right? But this is what really happened. Trump released, this is the strategy where he got all the Democrats to believe on the day of the report, the audit report. On the day it's supposed to release, he got a bunch of Democrats to believe it was real. He releases a rough draft, and to the vote, and to the vote was clean media. So in other words, this goes with their narrative. They were saying the vote is clean and that Biden won. So the first line of the report sounds like that. Let's read the first line. Let the first point be of the audit report that they used to tell everyone that Biden won. It was the vote count is the same. Biden got 149 more, Trump got 230 less, and so the people, one of two things happened with all these reporters who were saying that Biden won. I read the report. Either they just read the first page, which is obviously bad journalism. They're horrible journalists. They're liars anyway. Or they read the whole thing and they're like, I'm just going to report on the top part because it goes with our narrative. But they should have never, because if you're going to go ahead and say, oh, the report says that Biden won, now you have to at the same time say, this report is real. This report is 100% authentic. It was totally fair.
All right. I'm going to go listen to Peter's stream, so I got to raid someone else. We'll go with Willow. All right. Have a good night, everyone. I'm going to go listen to Peter for as long as my sanity allows, which will probably not be very long. So, have a good night, everyone. See you laters. I should be back tomorrow for some other kind of stream. So, see you then.